We are. Came up on my phone.
You got the alert?
Don't you lie to me. It came up on my phone.
185 pounds.
Now batting. Number 64.
Undefeated.
All right, we are live.
We are
Welcome
live
back
now.
Welcome back to the
We got 5 on it.
podcast.
Welcome back, everybody.
Beautiful Tuesday.
Beautiful Tuesday. If you haven't listened to our previous podcast, last week's was really good. I heard. I got a lot of good feedback. There's some good ones out there for the last few. Actually, the last probably 5 have been really good.
Yeah.
Remember to follow us on MySpace, Instagram, the Tweeter. The easiest way is on the Apple Podcast, because I can even figure that out. You go on there, you find us. We got 5 on it. It's a little blue label. You subscribe, you write a review, give us a 5-star. If you don't, send me a text of your address, and I'll come talk to you.
Yep.
And anything else? I think I got it all. This week, we are doing with the NFL season starting Thursday, the Bears versus the Green Bay Packers. We're gonna break down how we're gonna make the NFL better. And if Goodell or any of those idiots want to call us, they can. So jump right into it. I think I'm batting leadoff, right?
You are.
I'm batting leadoff. This week, my list is brought to you by Big Dick Mike, Tybo's buddy. I heard he's a big fan. Thanks for listening, buddy. I appreciate it. And Big Ben Rapelessberger, he's a raper.
Absolutely, 100%, without a doubt. Hate Big Ben, but I love my guy Mike.
I like he's a winner. I like Big Ben. He's a winner.
Mike,
he likes
tell
motorcycles.
Tell some friends. We'd appreciate that.
Okay, jumping right into it. Number 5. I'm going to do something with the national anthem. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it one way or the other. I would like to keep it and make the NFL enforced standing. If we're not going to do that, we got to get rid of it and stop this polarizing nonsense that we have going on, because they're losing ratings because of that, and I want the NFL to keep going. Number 4, I'm going to change the contracts. I'm not a contract guy, so I don't know. I feel like I'm going to make it some sort of tiered system where you either have A, B, C, D, E, or you have A, B, C, D, F, and those are all slotted numerical values, and you are in one of those no matter what you are, and league minimum would be F, if that's whatever it is.
All right.
And I'm hoping that by doing that, the sitting out thing, which is just an eyesore for the whole NFL, it's awful. I hate seeing it.
They deserve to.
Well, I don't know if they deserve to. They can if they'd like in the current system. I think they're prima donna millionaires arguing with billionaires, and I think that's a bad look for the NFL. Number 3, I'm getting rid of those fucking helmets. I'm going to...
You're literally just getting rid of helmets.
I'm getting rid of helmets.
Like 0 helmets.
I'm going rugby status. I'm getting rid of all the brain damage.
Just so everyone knows, this isn't an Antonio Brown situation. Cameron.
No, I'm getting rid of
all helmets.
All helmets. Rugby status. We're getting rid of all the brain damage. We're going to see how hard these dudes are going to go leading with their head with no fucking helmet on.
Sounds like so much fun to watch.
It's still going to be good. It's going to be talent.
It's going to be flag football.
No, it's not. They're still going to get stuck. There's going to be crazy fuckers that get hit that go in with their head first. Let them do it. Number 2, I'm making weed legal for these guys, which they should have already. We're pumping these guys full of painkillers. They're having hard careers, and they're coming out addicted to painkillers because they can't simply just smoke a joint at night and feel a lot better and get some sleep, and a lot of it will help them recover. And number 1, I'm making the games more affordable to an average person. That includes tickets, parking, beers, food, top to bottom. It doesn't need to be $1,000 to take a family of 4 to go watch a football game. And that's my number 1.
All right.
Tybo's up.
So I'll go next. Total opposite of yours.
I'm putting helmets on people.
I am my podcast is brought to you by CTE, because
I want some brain dead motherfuckers.
these guys know what they're getting. They're getting into, and if you don't like it, you don't got to play. That's why I respect guys like Luck, Gronk. They understand that what this game can do to you, and if you've made the means to get out, by all means. I say that halfway facetiously. I want these guys to be healthy and live long lives, but it's football. and the football I grew up with doesn't feel the same as what I'm seeing now. So with that being said, number 5, clock stoppage. I want late games to be even more interesting than they already are. I want the ball or the clock to stop after a first down, just like college, exactly like college rules.
College rules is that the clock stops while they set the ball, and then it
Yes.
starts.
And then it starts.
Is that all game?
Yeah.
Yeah. I believe
It is
so.
all game.
Yeah.
Number 4, I want to change the challenge system, so I'll leave it at that for now. But I'd like to kind of make a couple changes to that. Number 3, targeting is no longer a thing. Roughing the passer, no longer a thing. Other than blatant cheap shots. I'm talking ragdolling a guy and getting called for roughing the passer.
If we're keeping helmets, I'm on board.
I want John Lynch. I want Brian Dawkins. I want Ronnie Lott. I want those guys head hunting. I want Hines Ward coming off the edge, setting blindside blocks. I love that.
Crackbacks.
Crackback blocks.
Elsinore High School, baby.
Breaking jaws. Shout out Terrell Suggs. Number 3, all the steroids. I want them to just be bigger, faster, stronger, recover quicker. I want these dudes to be the most impressive athletes, which they pretty much already are.
Yeah.
But I want it on a next level. I want these dudes to just fucking kill each other.
Let me just. I'm not trying to interrupt, but
Yeah.
when you see an NFL like wide receiver in person,
Massive.
it doesn't make fucking sense.
Massive.
It doesn't make sense how big these dudes are.
If you see Adam,
I want them to be bigger too.
if you see Adam Thielen in a 7-Eleven, you're gonna be like, what?
He's 6'3" and fucking
Imagine
yoked,
DJ
3%.
Metcalf or a guy like that.
Yeah. And number 1, kind of piggybacking on, I don't totally agree with the tiers, but NFL players, they are putting their body on the line. They should have guaranteed contracts. And the reason why I think guys sit out is because at any time an owner can cut them or a GM can cut them, and they don't have to pay them their money. They don't have to respect the contract. Why should the players? So make guaranteed contracts so these owners are on the hook for what they signed up for. And I think a lot of this takes care of itself.
I'm cool with my tiers being guaranteed.
Okay?
All of them.
Yeah, all the tiers. I'm good with that.
All right. Well, I think we'll dive into that a little bit more. That's an interesting one. All right. My list is brought to you by the law offices of Ed Garland. He was the defense lawyer for Ben Roethlisberger and Ray Lewis. So he's done a pretty good job. Nice little track record as far as what he's trying to accomplish goes. So number 5, I'm with Cam. Make weed legal is not really even the right term because it's legal most places, but allow it. I'm a big fan of as long as you get the job done. I don't really care what
It
you're
really
doing.
makes no sense that weed's not.
Don't care.
We can talk about that a little bit more, but I don't think any of us disagree with that. It's just like if a guy shows up and can catch the ball and outrun everyone, a la Josh Gordon, and he smokes a little weed to help him.
A lot of weed with Josh Gordon.
And his is probably more for mental and anxiety reasons. And who cares?
Well, also,
He probably also really loves smoking weed.
yeah. he's
also
probably
the
done it
Josh
since he was
Gordon
9.
thing. The Josh Gordon thing. Not trying to interrupt, but what are we teaching people here that you can just do whatever the fuck you want and get away and just keep coming back? Because last time it was like, hey man, he deserves a third chance, and then now it's like, well, I mean, do we
even care
come
anymore?
Come on, man, we got to give him a 4th chance.
Well, that's one of the problems with
and
the
I'm on
NFL,
board with
but-
him coming back. I love it. Like I think he's a super freak, but
Yeah. He's
at
good.
some point the rules have to be the rules, and I don't want those rules to be enforced, but the rules enforced need to be enforced.
All right, number 4, and I feel pretty passionately about this one, is I would fire Roger Goodell.
Not mad at it.
If somebody handed me the keys of the NFL, that might be the first thing I do. Number 3 is I would change the overtime. I wouldn't do it exactly like college, but I wouldn't make it sudden death either. Number 2, I would get rid of the divisions. It would strictly be the AFC and the NFC. So much like basketball, similar setup. Number 1, kind of in line with Tybo's, is I would be more lax on penalties and just let them play. I've always thought that it's crazy that any type of hit, not any type of hit, but certain types of hits in football are penalized. Like, it's football.
What's new?
I'd almost
It's a new
go.
thing, yeah.
I'd almost go as far as to make not complete pass interference legal, but certain parts of it. I mean, you see a guy like slap a hand, I'm like, they're grown men playing football. Like, that's their job a little bit. Like,
Yeah.
I get the egregious ones, like you can't put your hands in a dude's face or like completely like tackle him while the ball's in the air, things like that. But
You want Deion Sanders' play to be legal. I'm going to put my hands on you.
yeah,
all
absolutely,
the time.
absolutely.
Deion Sanders is, I mean, the best shutdown corner, one of them, you can say. And if he played today, he would get a flag every single play.
If
He'd
you
have
look
to be
at
on the
if you
Raiders.
look at most DBs pre 2005,
Champ Bailey.
a lot of those guys.
Active hands, man.
Yeah.
And I just think like, God, it's become more like flag football in a lot of ways than like actual football. And I think a lot of, your average fan doesn't appreciate that. And there's ways to make the game safer. And
Fuck that.
but I'm also a big proponent of, like you said, they know what they were getting themselves into. Like, you're making millions of dollars. Like,
Oh, yeah.
that sucks that these guys have brain issues, but like, you knew what you're getting yourself into. It's kind of like,
Well, now they do. I don't
It's
think
like-
they did back in the day.
it's like that lady that,
Back in the day, no.
No, I don't think they did.
but now they do.
No, now they do, yeah.
And it's like the lady that, and R.I.P. This is not a joke. I'm not saying this half-assedly, but the lady that died in that rocket car, like a
oh,
week
yeah,
ago.
you
I
know.
forget her name.
Yeah, you know.
Like,
the
she knew-
Mythbusters chick.
I don't even know what happened. Oh, that was the Mythbusters girl?
Remember the Mythbusters girl that would, like, drive all the cars and shit?
Wait, the cute blonde one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
She died in trying to break the land speed record, which, I mean,
And see that, like, you knew what you're getting yourself into, and like, personally, I mean, it's sad that she died so young, but she was doing something that she loved, and she
Yeah.
knew what she was getting herself into. It's
Yeah.
like,
You assume the risk.
absolutely.
oh,
and
yeah,
assume
yeah,
there
yeah.
is.
You jump out of an airplane skydiving, you fall to your death. You jumped out of an airplane.
Yeah.
It
Like,
was functioning.
yeah,
You could have just
yeah.
gone down.
So
Yeah.
that's my list, boys.
I don't know if you guys remember this. You might not. It was back in the day after Monday Night Football. Every time there was an after show on Monday Night Football, and they would have the week's
Hardest
hits,
hits.
Yeah.
and it was like you were cheering on for somebody to die. And now,
They were like bone crushing.
no, they were like painful to watch as a little kid.
Guys,
yeah.
one of the managers at work, he's a big Penn State fan, so we were talking Ohio State.
He loves
Oh,
touching kids.
Okay. Charlie's a nice guy, okay? But
Charlie Marketing.
he was like, how'd Ohio State do? Great. How'd Penn State do? And he goes, well, these guys called a timeout with like 15 seconds left. They want to run one more play. Penn State beat them like 79-7.
Yeah.
77-7 or something crazy. So the other coach calls a timeout. They run one more play. This dude from Penn State
Kill somebody.
killed somebody. He played me the video. He goes, that was a hard hit, huh? And I'm like, yeah. And he goes, listen to the sound. He turns the sound up. It sounded like a car crash.
That's what you get though for doing stupid shit like that.
It was devastating.
what
My
you
knees
get.
buckled. It was.
That's what you get for doing dumb shit like that.
Tybo fell to the ground.
No,
No,
it
no,
doesn't-
there used
a
that,
stiff breeze.
that
pushes
used to
me
be a
down,
thing
but-
after Monday Night Football. It was like I don't remember who the announcer was. It was like a Monday Night Football, and it was they'd show hits, and it was just like people just getting full blown leveled, like John Lynch hits one after the other after the other. And how is John Lynch still fine?
I don't know.
He just laid the blow every time.
For now.
He never took it.
Yeah, he was one
He
lane.
never took it.
He was
Yeah.
always the windshield, not the bug.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He was. I mean, he used to do things.
Obliterate.
Oh, yeah.
Like it looked like he borderline intentionally was trying to hurt guys, which
Oh yeah.
Absolutely, you were.
that
No
was
doubt
the,
he
that
was.
was the game.
So,
but
so when, like nowadays, I saw one on what I think it was the college. I don't know which college. I think it had to be a college game, but pick play, guys running down the field, and some dude. This is what we were taught. You find somebody not looking, and you put your helmet into their ear hole.
just
Those are the
make
best.
sure
And-
your helmet's across his chest.
Yeah, and you just
and
go
you're
like
clean.
this, and you decleat them.
Yep.
And they did like just like that, and I was like, oh, that's awesome. You know,
Great
you don't
block.
you don't get hurt. You just get knocked off your feet. You
Yep.
don't, your equilibrium's fucked up,
Yep.
and you go off your feet. There's no. Everybody's had it done to them.
Yep.
It doesn't have like, and they're like, "Beep, bring it back. I'm like, what? What are you talking about? But I'm not into that. But you get rid of the helmets, they won't do that shit anymore.
Well, dude, the NFL used to continue to sell, like the hardest hits of the year
Oh, yeah.
DVDs. And
Oh,
then
yeah.
people are like, well, you're trying to promote all the safety protocol, yet you're still cashing in on the hardest hits that you could possibly find, where you know these dudes are getting concussed.
And it wasn't. The best part about those videos is it was like 3-second clips, and it was just bam, 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 bam. It was like watching a car crash
Oh, dude.
100 times in a row.
I love that.
Yeah, but I mean, I understand what they're trying to do because they are creating brain damaged people and they're not taking care of them after.
I call bullshit. It's all perception. They want to act like they care. They don't care.
No, they don't.
They don't care.
They don't
if they
care.
cared, they'd.
I think the
pay-
players care about each other.
My point is, if the NFL cared, which they don't, because they're the ones making the rules,
Yeah.
they would give the former retired players better pensions,
Yeah.
better paychecks. They don't give a shit. It's all a farce.
yeah.
It's all just trying to put on the facade that we care. Same thing with the breast cancer month. When that came out, or it was either that or the military when they showed
They did a
how
lot of military stuff last year.
how small of an amount they actually contribute to that. It's just all saving face. That's all.
Oh
it is.
yeah. Well, Goodell, like you said, Goodell's a fucking snake.
It's got to go, man.
I'm not mad at him going.
Roger Goodell.
He's
All right,
voted
so-
in by
so-
he's voted in by the owner, so you know he's not on the player side automatically.
Automatically.
You're
So
already
why does he
the-
got to go?
So my big thing with Roger Goodell is he's not consistent, and he reminds me of like a dirty politician.
Yep. Superstars get
So-
special treatment.
Yeah, whoever has a chip to cash in with him wins whatever's going on. Like you just and I mean, there's been so many cases, but you see him come down with punishments or whatever, and it's like, where did that come from? And then there's some that like get away. Just recently, there with the Kareem Hunt one, there was another guy that like nothing even happened to him.
Josh Brown, the kicker.
I
For the
don't,
Giants?
I don't know for sure,
So
Oh, he
but I
beat the
just
fuck out
remember
of him,
hearing
yeah.
the case. I forget the name, but
he
it was
beat
like,
his wife.
It was worse, almost, or just as bad.
Well, all right. I'm gonna get a lot of shit for this, but I'm gonna say it either way. Kareem Hunt, what he did was wrong,
Wasn't that bad.
but it wasn't that bad.
Wasn't that bad.
He gave her a little kick on the
It
ass.
was like a get out of my room type shit.
It was bad. You can't
Oh,
do
absolutely,
that.
you shouldn't do
cannot,
it.
You should never
But
hit
it's
a
not Ray
woman.
Rice.
But he didn't cold cock a girl and knock her
It's
the
not
fuck
Ray
out.
Rice.
The girl's harassing him. He pushed her down. He kicked her on the ass.
Yeah.
and that's my point is he's not consistent, and it just like he just seems like a slime ball that like he seems like he has no idea what the fuck he's doing.
If
You
Josh
know?
Gordon is not on the Patriots, he's not back. There's no way he's back.
Well,
He
was
didn't play.
I don't know.
He
But
wasn't
he was
reinstated.
They brought him back when he was on the Browns.
No, they didn't. He had to get traded first.
But how could he get So you're saying he got
still has to be
reinstated strictly
reinstated.
because he was on the Patriots?
I don't think he gets on if he's playing for the Giants.
I don't think so, but that's an
Yeah, I don't
example.
know.
That's an example where it's like, okay, we're not going to allow players to smoke weed, but like you said, he'll keep getting back in. Like, just make a fucking decision.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to act like I would be able to run the NFL, and I'm not qualified for that. But he's just
Sign me up.
What I don't like is the lack of consistency. And a guy that comes to mind as far as commissioners that I think are absolutely phenomenal is Adam Silver.
Oh yeah.
I think
Silver's
he is
the best.
Yeah,
by
Silver's good.
far the best commissioner in sports. And the reason why, in my mind, he's very consistent.
Well, he's diligent too.
He's like
He's
a good.
This is what it is. This is what like.
He reminds me of a good parent, right? Like you're always growing with your kid. You're always looking for ways to make him better, but like you are consistent with what you expect from a discipline standpoint, from a moral standpoint, just following the rules. He has grown the NBA. He has a progressive mind, but that doesn't slow him down from like just sticking to his guns as far as what's right and what's wrong. Goodell, I feel like wakes up every morning, like eats his donut and fucking Dunkin' Donuts coffee, and is like, well,
I
what
will say the
direction do I
NFL
wanna
is
go
probably
today?
the hardest to
Well, especially recently.
the hardest to take on though because there's so many guys.
That's what I'm saying. More
There's
players
so
to
many
manage.
players. There's so many. I mean, and
Not good at
let's
math,
let's
but
just
53
say,
times.
let's just say baseball.
52 times.
Baseball.
30,
I mean, you
whatever.
get a little bit more educated person most of the time. I would say. I
Yeah.
mean, other than you know.
But I don't agree with that. I think it's been harder socially recently.
well, maybe baseball's just better at
Well, no, I
forming
mean,
their guys.
I'm-
Maybe with like rookie contracts and shit.
They have
like
one of
that.
the stronger player unions for
Yeah.
sure.
I'm gonna draw.
No
A
doubt.
guarantee contracts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna draw a parallel. So it's not like Goodell is managing each one of these guys day to day, right? There
No,
might be
and
more
he's
guys.
also hired by the owner, so they just go, "Hey, man, let us do what we want, and we'll hire
Let
you."
us make
How
money.
much money did he get paid?
45, 50 or something like that.
No, it's more than that.
I don't know. It's a
I
lot.
want to say it's in the hundreds.
A million?
No, not annually.
No, not annually, but it's like a contract of. He's higher paid than any NFL player for sure.
Oh, yeah,
So
not
what
even
he's
close.
doing is he is managing policy basically. So like a politician, like you look at America and you can make the argument that it's tougher because we have more people. Well, that's just because we have a lack of resources. The NFL does not have a lack of resources. That is not an issue for them.
No, definitely
just-
not.
49.5 a year.
Yeah.
49.5. So $50 million a year, and this clown doesn't know where his tail and his front end are. Like, it's terrible.
He knows where it is. It's in his pocket.
They lack direction and they lack discipline. That's the reason why the NFL has gone up and down the last couple years. That's why ratings are up and down, because there's no. You can still be progressive and have a good like moral skeleton that stays the same.
The ratings thing, though, like,
They're down.
okay, but they were gonna drop eventually. They still outrank, I think, the 10 or out of the top 20 sports
Oh, they're number
games.
one.
They were like one. They had 19 of the top 20.
I think that's.
They're not struggling
no.
for ratings.
No.
I think they probably are a little bit. I mean, they probably felt it, but I mean,
I don't
but
think so,
But
man.
also, the NFL does a great job of having a limited season. They're not baseball, they're not basketball, where it's a stretched out season. So you get it on Sunday, you get it on Monday, and you get it on Thursdays now. And then at the end of the year, you get the Saturday games. But they fucking got themselves a nice little nugget to the.
College football is the same way, and they still kick the dog shit out of college football.
Yeah, because there's so many teams though.
And I think
There's so many teams, and I mean.
But you're telling me
I don't know how many. I don't know the numbers, but I would like to see what like an Alabama Clemson game does versus
wasn't top 10 against.
It wasn't?
Against
Yeah.
like a random Bears,
Rams, fucking Bears or whatever. Yeah.
Rams Saints in week
Thursday
6.
Thursday
In
night game. Yeah.
Week 6
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
But I think
They're not struggling.
You got to look at growth. Like, to compare it to other sports, it just is what it is. Like,
Well,
you
it's
look at
the
the
top- it's the
NBA,
top.
but you look at the NBA, that's the fastest growing sport in all the major sports.
Well, that's because
Fastest growing like viewership.
football is
Just
dying.
everything.
Football is dying, and it's not because of Goodell.
Football's
because-
dying because of CTE.
Exactly.
Yeah.
By the way, you said that you want to keep football around. The fastest way to make sure football goes away is to eliminate the helmets. And
No,
because
it's not.
Yes, because no one's
You
gonna,
include every other kid.
no one's going to want to play.
Who's
Everyone-
not going to want to play? They play flag football like going out of style nowadays.
So you're going to put flag football on Sunday
No, I'm
mornings?
not putting
no one's
flag
gonna
football.
watch.
No,
It's
yeah,
still
I'm
going to
not
be
watching that.
contact. It's still going to be contact.
It's not the contact that
But-
many people grew up with.
It-
It would be a
Well,
totally
no,
different
I'm
game.
saying it's changing it for a better future.
So you might have a point
We
statistically.
might not like it. I won't like watching it as much. But I'd
That's
say
how ratings go down.
self-sustaining the sport, that's how you do it.
All I'm saying is you might have a few years where no one's playing. Because perception is...
They're all going to play for the millions of dollars.
Not if.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, I
You
don't
got
agree
a
with
couple James Harrisons. You got a couple guys that are fucking whack jobs.
It's just crazy.
You're going to tell me right now
Montez
a wide receiver other than Hines Ward isn't going to go out there without a helmet on? He's going to be Julian Edelman. He's going to love it.
that. Yeah, but that's what makes it.
I don't think
I
so.
understand. I'm not saying I would like it more. I'm saying that it's better for the sport.
If you don't like it more, why would more people watch?
Because I'm not more people. I wouldn't put my kid in flag football. I wouldn't. Those are things that but I understand that football is dying. Like, Pop Warner football is, these parents aren't going to let their kids play.
I agree, but I don't think taking away helmets is a way to do it. Then
Why?
it becomes a different sport. It's not the same sport.
It's the. I mean, it
It's
can
not-
be.
how-
It's going to be a learning curve for sure.
How do you block O-line, D-line without a helmet?
You can.
You tell me those guys are going to get CTE headbutting each other?
You'd have to figure it out. I mean, no, I'm not. I don't have all the answers to it.
I
I'm
know,
just saying,
but I'm just saying.
for the longevity of the sport, that's how you do it.
But I'm
how you-
saying that's not football anymore. It's they will call it
You
something
still,
different.
I mean, you still do
Rugby.
passing leagues and shit
Something.
in
I
high
don't-
school.
7-on-7s is one of the worst things to happen ever.
Those are some of the.
Might as well watch the WNBA.
It's
No.
awful. It's awful.
It's not that bad.
Mm.
It's not that bad.
I love in the trenches, hard mouth football.
I do too.
You take away helmets, that's gone.
I don't think so. I think it
How
becomes.
do you
I think
block?
it becomes.
How do you
I think
block?
it becomes like a fucking sumo thing where you just use your hands.
So now you can hold.
No, you wouldn't have to be able to hold.
What if they all went out naked? No equipment at all.
Yeah, I'm watching it for sure.
Then you'd be into it.
Yeah,
I'm very into it already.
No, like I said, I don't have all the answers. I just think for the longevity of the sport, that's how you do it. Eventually, they're going to stop. I mean, I'm telling you, they're going to stop letting high school kids fucking play.
I wouldn't
It's
let
going
my kid,
to happen.
I'm not disagreeing with you, but I'm
It's
saying
going to happen.
I'm just saying the sport's going to die. They're not going
No,
to. They're not going to take helmets off.
So you'd rather have the sport die than change it a little bit.
Then watch that shit. Yeah,
Well, I mean, it's still going to be athletes, man. They're still fucking
I'll watch
freaks.
basketball. I'll watch.
Yeah, I mean, it is basketball's as much contact as football. I mean,
Yeah.
there's a lot of shit going on other than D line and offensive line, but
That'd be like watching basketball and saying, "We're gonna raise the hoops to 13 feet so guys can't dunk."
they can still dunk.
Some guys.
Dwight Howard.
Some guys.
Jump over a Kia. No, I understand. I understand the there's holes in it. This is not a perfect fix, but I'm saying for the longevity of the sport, that's the next move that they're going to go to. If they're stopping, like targeting is a move where they go, you basically can't hit anybody.
Can't play defense.
You can't play defense. You can't try to break
And it
up.
makes me sick.
You can't try to break up a bang bang play.
No. Unless
Before it was like,
Which is crazy.
how fast can I get my hands on this ball before you hit me? That's why nowadays, you did not go over the middle.
you
back
never
in the day.
went over the middle.
Now these slot receivers, Julian Edelman's, Wes Welkers, fucking all these little guys, they wouldn't even have been alive back in the day. You know why? Because it would be one time, I'll
got
take my
caught.
pass interference call and I will fucking kill you. Like I'll put you.
Now, just playing devil's advocate, those guys still get clocked every once in a while.
Yeah,
However,
but it's not like
it's
it.
not like
no,
it
it's
used
not
to
like
be.
because
It's not like
guys
it
are.
used to be.
I think it's worse. You're coming in like this, where you're supposed to square up, put your helmet in their chest, and then you have to turn and drop your shoulder, and then all that receiver has to do is go like this, duck their head. You get a targeting call, you're fucked. Like, it's too bang bang to call it like that. I understand the no targeting call.
It's impossible.
But I also I don't want to see John Lynch anymore. Like, I don't want to see dudes getting fucking obliterated. Like,
You don't?
I don't think so, man.
No.
I've been hit pretty hard in fucking football, and
So
it
have I.
sucks, dude. Like,
It does suck.
and it's just,
It's
I
just
don't
the
think
head
it's,
stuff.
I don't
for
think
me.
it's good to be retarded when you're 50 years old.
Okay,
Like,
so the head stuff I get.
but if you
but
told
it-
me you're gonna give me $30 million 3 years in a row at 26 years old, and I'm gonna be a vegetable at 50, I'm taking the money
Taking the money.
right now, knowing what I know.
I don't know if I'm crazy and I've got no stats to back this up, but I feel like knee injuries are at an all-time high right now. And
I think that has to do with turf.
Possibly.
That'd be an
Yeah.
interesting
it could,
thing to look at.
it could either be turf,
I think
or
people
is
are
it 'cause
hitting lower.
guys are going low
Yeah.
because they
Well, you
can't
have
go high.
to. Yeah, you have to.
Because
I
they can't go high.
Yeah.
And guess what? You're planted in the turf. The turf, to your point, does not give. A guy hits you, and all of a sudden,
Yeah, you're stuck on it.
you're done.
You're like duct tape on
You're
that shit.
done. So whether you tear your ACL now, and then the team cuts you without a guaranteed contract, or you get CTE down the road, guys are getting fucked up anyways, man. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a violent sport. Let's
Yeah.
just
But
call
I
it
thi-
what it is.
but I feel
it's
like
a
if-
violent sport. So no, but hear me out. It's fucking violent. If you don't like the violence in it,
Yeah.
don't
play.
watch
Don't
or
play.
don't play.
Play
Yeah.
tennis.
It's a violent sport.
Yeah.
It's what it is. I mean,
Speaking of knee injuries, did you see that video on Barstool?
Of that
either
girl-
today?
of that
oh
lady?
my god,
That lady trying to be super athletic and
She
fucking
came back
yeah.
and like just,
dude.
Oh,
Just
that was crap. Yeah.
she's all done.
I cringed at that.
She's getting all that rebuilt.
All right, Tybo, I got a question for you. You're number 5.
Yes.
Clock stopping after a first down throughout the game, just
Yep.
like college.
Yep.
I'm
I
not-
thought college was only towards the end though, wasn't it? Or is it all game?
I'm pretty sure
Dude,
it's
I'm-
all game.
I felt like it was
I
only
thought
in
it
the
was
last
like the
2
last.
minutes.
I thought it was the last like 5. Let me see.
I feel like that's not
I
all
really
game.
should know how much I fucking watch the sport.
Well, look it up, and while you do that, I'm going to talk.
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily against it. I have one question. You said it makes it more interesting. So I want to know how you think it makes it more interesting. And then basically, I want you to persuade me. I'm on the fence on that one.
2 minutes.
Are,
first
are
half.
the quarters the same length?
2 minutes?
Are they 12s and 15s?
It's 15 in college.
So it's the same.
Yeah.
It's the same.
Yeah.
For some reason, I thought college was 12.
No.
Yeah.
15.
Basketball's different.
Halves. Yeah.
So how does it make it more interesting?
So let's say you're Andy Reid and you have no idea how many timeouts you have for whatever reason, like he does every year.
Chris Webber.
That doesn't seem like it.
Yeah, Chris Webber. It extends plays. You can run an 11-yard slant. It really, I mean, first and foremost, let's be honest. How many times we watch football, we go, I can't believe they're running the prevent right now, and they're just allowing them to dink and dunk. I feel like it just, not that the NFL isn't exciting. I watch Patrick Mahomes. I watch Phillip Rivers. I know you hate him. Tom Brady, Big Ben, all the greats, Tony Romo, run a beautiful 2-minute drill under the current way the system is set up.
It's one of the best things to watch.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's like watching a surgeon.
But
Oh, yeah. Tom Brady.
and Peyton Manning, obviously, sorry, Peyton, but having it just stop adds a different vibe to the game. You got to play defense a little differently. You got to a guy you could bring in a screen pass when maybe you couldn't before. And granted, I know they do all this stuff now here and there, but for me, college is so fun because when it's within the last 2 minutes, you could have no timeouts, start on your 20-yard line, and you're like, dude,
Still got a shot.
we can do this. Like, we got a shot. Like, and I understand NFL guys do that already. Aaron Rodgers, all the guys that just named have all done it. But it just makes it, to me, more interesting. You are, shit, man, they get 11 yards. Quick, let's go. You don't have to spike it, waste it down. Maybe they should. They're professionals. They should have a better understanding of it. But that's one of the reasons I love college. It is never over in a close game. Never.
I'm sold, man. Good job.
I wrote down something. Doesn't really. It's not totally tied in. Do you like the pass interference in the NFL better or the pass interference in the college better? Where
the yardage?
Spot of the foul. Like where if I chuck it up.
I prefer spot of the foul.
Do you really?
I do.
Just because you can't get away with just shoving a guy.
You can't just drag a guy down when he beats you. Can't tackle him.
There was a play in a college game the other night, forget which one, but it was basically the guy was beat. Like, it was like a 40-50 yard pass, and the guy just tackled him.
Yeah.
And that's a smart
play
in college.
Because it's 15 yards.
And I just feel like that's not.
It's cheap.
Yeah.
It feels cheap.
It's a smart play, though.
It is. And
so to your clock stopping, I agree with everything that you said. When you picked it, I was just like, I don't see that being that big of a deal. But what I was thinking of as you were talking is from a viewer standpoint. So I imagine being in this bar watching a game, right?
Yep.
And if the clock just keeps running, you're just kind of constantly like this. But if as a viewer, you almost have a time to catch your breath and be like, oh, shit. This could happen, this could happen.
Shit.
And there's a lot more.
Well, also you could run different.
It makes it more dynamic.
You could run a lot
of
different plays.
anticipation, man. That's why, I mean.
You're not going to send a fucking streak down the if you know he has to run all the way back to get back in the huddle. If you have an extra, it's probably not that much time. It's probably, 5 or 6, 7 seconds? I mean, depending on how long the play is.
Yeah, and it's kind of fun, too, to watch the guys try to, in the NFL.
Hold somebody down.
Lay on them, do all this stuff. We don't get guys faking injuries like they do now to stop the clock.
Yeah.
Do all this, I don't think it's Bush League, it's gamesmanship. But, I mean, when you watch these college guys, and granted the athletes aren't as great, but whatever, you're watching that, and to your point, right, that's a great point. Like, you're waiting, you're like, oh shit, all right,
set that ball down.
Let's go. They get a little time to set up, and I get the other side. You guys haven't made this point, but on the other side, maybe the pros should be better at managing the clock. Maybe they should. Maybe that's part of it. Is you have to manage your timeouts better. Maybe you got to do this.
And like you said, the good guys are good at it.
Exactly.
When you see
Peyton
fucking
go
Mark
do it,
Sanchez,
shit his pants.
Shit his pants and not know what to do and not know how much time's on the clock and this and like that. The other guys are, the Tony Romo's, which is a great one because he was the 2-minute drill with Tony Romo was fucking
incredible
precision.
Yep.
And then you see him and he's looking at the clock and he knows, bang, I can go here, bang, get this guy to
the
bounce,
receiver
get this guy
immediately
to bounce.
gets up, looks for the ref, throws him the ball. All right, let's go. Check.
Yeah.
Be good. All right. Hey, hype.
I like both ways. I do. I like both ways.
I do like
if they
both,
changed
too.
it, I would understand. If they didn't, I still like it.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
On Tony Romo, now that he's an announcer, we can see why he was so good in those moments because he is 3 steps ahead of everyone else.
It is crazy when he calls he just called this check down. He's going to go to this guy, this guy, this guy.
Unbelievable.
A little out route, and it's like bang, bang, bang.
And one more little thing. Maybe the defense shouldn't be afforded this luxury, but it does give them
A chance to run back.
3-4 more seconds to just
the
hands on the
D
hips.
lineman.
All right, down, go. Maybe they shouldn't be afforded that luxury.
But just as exciting as a 20-yard post route is a sack in a huge moment.
Yep.
You know,
Clock's still running there.
Especially with prevent rushing 3 guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Tony Romo's a better color commentator than he was a quarterback.
I don't know. He's pretty fucking good. You look at his.
He was good.
You look
He
at his
was good.
stats, man. Towards the end of the game, that guy was a fucking.
He
freak.
was. He was butter.
Oh,
he
yeah.
was pretty
Straight butter.
He was really good, but he is a absolute great commentator.
Oh yeah, he's great. Well, he's just good. He's a fucking almost professional golfer. The guy's just an all-around guy.
He is one of the most
That's a guy's guy right there.
underrated quarterbacks. All right.
Opa.
Most underrated quarterbacks probably of our generation because he always gets shit for
Not winning the big game.
muffing that extra point when
Yep.
he actually I think it was his job to do that, but he was also
He was still pretty young then.
He had that when he was a backup quarterback and they never switched it out. I think was the deal. But he gets shit for that, never winning a big game. But you know what? The Cowboys probably wouldn't have been shit without him.
They
probably,
wouldn't have
Well,
got
look at Dak now. I mean, the guy can't win a fucking game. The Cowboys' MO
He's
is
gonna get paid,
ever
though.
since Troy Aikman, those days of dominance, they haven't
Michael
been.
Irvin.
Michael Irvin, Deion Sanders, Emmitt Smith.
They had dudes.
No, they were.
I know.
But now, like, their MO is just they can't put it together. They just can't. They can't put it all. Their defensive their linebackers, if they're healthy, they're pretty damn good.
That front four, nasty.
Yeah, they're all good. They just
DBs have been suspect for
If they're
a
healthy,
while.
yeah.
But I just had to give Tony Romo his credit because I remember when he was playing, everyone
I
would
think
talk
we love.
shit on.
I think we love him too because he golfs.
Yeah, true.
And he's a plus golfer. Man.
He's
Guy's
great,
fucking
man.
dialed.
But I just remember so many people talking shit on Romo, and I'm like, really, man? Like,
And
that
got
guy's-
out with his brain. Got out with his brain, and
Yeah.
I mean,
Mhm.
didn't take too many crazy hits.
Exactly.
I like him. I'm in. Tybo, both you and I have contracts on ours.
Okay.
Yours is guaranteed, and I'm cool with that. I'm cool with you're putting more on the line than these other sports that have guaranteed contracts. I'm okay with that. You said you're okay with sitting out, which
I am.
I do understand it.
I am.
I think it's a bad look, and I know it's always a running back. It's always going to be a running back because they are so limited on their time that they're going to be good.
Yep.
And pay them whatever it is. But if you put down I don't even know how this would work with salary cap and you have 53, 52 guys, whatever it is,
Yeah.
and you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys, A, B, C, D, whatever you want to call it,
Okay.
and you go, all right, Tom Brady, you're maxed out at, we got 6 guys on the team that get 30 million, and then you go down, until league minimum 400, 500 grand, whatever it is.
Okay.
If you sign up on that and you have an opening, you go, hey, you're an A right now. We got Zeke Elliott as a C. We can make both you guys Bs, or we're going to have Zeke sitting out.
So my biggest question with
So
you.
it's fluid.
How many guys?
So I have 2 questions.
It's hard because I don't think a lot of guys no, fuck you, I'm an A.
I have 2 questions. As a rookie, what do you get? First round, top 5
Signing
pick.
bonus.
First round, top 5 pick. What tier are you?
I'll take whatever kind.
I'll take one
Yeah.
too, please.
Yeah, I don't want that one. Thank you.
Yes, please. Thank you, Missy.
Thank you.
No, I understand the rookie thing.
How would you do it?
I don't know how to work the rookie deal into it.
That's big.
No, I think the rookie deal.
That's why some of these guys are
No,
sitting
I
out.
think the rookie deal with that tiered payment. If Zeke comes in and he's going to be the guy, I start him out as a B, and I go, hey man, you perform the way we know you're going to. You're going to be an A next year, no matter what.
Okay, so that means you take a Tyron Smith, which that probably wouldn't be the guy. That's
Yeah.
like their cornerstone.
Whoever
Shout out
is the
Tyron
I don't
Smith.
know who the second highest paid guy on there is. Dak.
But you're taking one of the top 6. You said 6, so I'm just gonna. I'm not saying
I
that's
don't.
the
Yeah, I
number.
don't know the
Yeah, I
breakdown.
I get it. But you're taking whatever that number is. You're relegating a guy down to B.
But I think you
What
find
if
it.
that guy
but
wants
if
to
you-
sit out now? I'm an A. I could be an A for the Jaguars. Why the fuck do I have to?
I understand.
Get
that's,
paid for
that's
a
what I'm
B.
saying. So I think you run into teams like the Patriots. Team like a Patriot would be like, hey, we don't have any fucking A's. We're gonna take all that A money and we're gonna make a shitload of B's.
It's a great idea with the except that
No,
like,
I don't have all the.
I know you
ins
don't,
and outs of
but
it.
I'm just thinking on the fly.
Yeah.
I'm not Drew Rosenhaus. I
Yeah.
don't know, but let's say you're the Seattle Seahawks. You draft really well, and all of a sudden, all these guys are fucking A's. They're all A's,
But they all know that coming in that we're not getting A money.
but it's a fluid system. It's a fluid system.
Yeah.
You almost penalize a team for drafting well.
Exactly.
No, not really.
Developing talent. Yeah, you do.
You do.
Eventually.
You do.
Well, you're gonna build them into a system that they
Thank you.
know. They know that this is the way our system
Thank you.
runs. None of us are sitting out.
Let's not act like the Seahawks were powerhouses
Thank you,
until
Missy.
7 years ago. they didn't know that going into it.
Yeah,
Just
you're
using
right.
that
Yeah,
example.
Yeah, I understand that. But then all 7 guys, and Russell Wilson's a fucking B because he's not. I mean,
But here's an example where I mean I like your idea.
who's winning the most games?
No,
Seattle's D.
But
They ain't
in
fucking
a
not Russell Wilson.
Hold on.
he
In a
was a big part of it.
utopian world, that works. Here and the Seahawks are a perfect example that shows why this doesn't work. Is they had the Legion of Boom.
Yeah.
Most all those guys
Three
were,
of them.
Well, it was effective.
No, they had like 7.
Yeah,
but
on
I mean, you know the
defense.
big names are gonna get what they're gonna get.
But
because
hold
they're
on,
big
but
names.
most of those guys were developed by them.
No, yeah,
Drafted and developed by them. They came into their own, if you will, and they all wanted their money, and they went their separate ways for the most part.
which is fine. That's totally fine. If I have a money on a different team, Richard Sherman, which I think was only good because he couldn't play in the new rules.
I don't totally agree with that, but
I mean,
okay.
no, he's good. He's not a bad. I'm not saying he was bad anyway. He was a fucking good.
I know.
But if somebody else has a money, sorry man, I got a money to go to.
But then
It keeps you from sitting out.
okay, let's say I'm Earl Thomas.
Yeah.
I'm in year 3 of a 5-year contract. Of a rookie contract.
Yeah. The rookie thing is where it kind of gets hard. Because
Now-
those guys elevate way higher or they stay, like that.
I
like
wanna
a Nick
s-
Chubb.
I want to stay on track though. I'm in year 3 of a year 5 rookie contract. And now I know I'm one of the top 3 players on my team.
I'm going year to year.
So every contract's a year to year.
Year to year.
Okay, so it's a year to year
Year-to-year.
contract system in the NFL.
Fine.
really,
That's the way it's got to be because
I'm fine with that.
if I'm Earl Thomas, I
I'm
can't
totally
say
fine with that.
Yeah.
I'm not an A. I just want to go to the
It's
Jaguars.
merit-
It doesn't
it's-
work
it's
that way.
merit
You're under
based.
contract.
It's merit based. I'll go year to year.
really from a money standpoint, what he's proposing isn't all that different because there's a certain amount of dollars to be spent.
It sounds
and
communist.
It's
kind
all
Well,
divvied up
no, I
how the
mean-
market depicts it, but you
because-
have more flexibility from a player standpoint to, and I don't think the players would like this, frankly,
You could do.
to step down.
You could do. Hey
No
man,
player-
I got. Let me
I-
break it down. I'm the Cleveland Browns. I got A money, B money, C money. I could fucking get 10 A's. I'm gonna lose some C's and some D's. I'm gonna have more F's than I have A. I have the same salary cap.
This
I'm
is
just
like me
gonna.
figuring out what class to pass and which one to just let it fly, man.
yeah, fuck.
No, I don't have all the answers. I know that, but I'm just trying to figure out how we get guys from sitting out. Because the sitting out thing to me, it's a big black eye on the league.
I don't think so.
It's a negotiating tactic, and I don't think it's that big of a deal.
Kawhi
either.
Leonard sat out, and
I
none of
think
you
it keep-
guys are batting an eye.
I think it keeps him in the news.
I
Did you
didn't
see
like
what
the
Kobe
Kawhi
said
sat
about
out.
load management, by the way?
Yeah, and he's full of shit.
I
That's
didn't
why
like the
broke,
Kawhi
That's
sat
why
out.
it broke down every year.
I don't like any player
Kawhi's
that
a dog.
fan is coming to pay money to see you, goes back to the tickets, but I don't think I get it. Running backs, I get it. You're limited on your time, and I hope Le'Veon Bell goes out and fucking shits the bed.
I hope he balls, dude.
He's
Yeah,
not
I
going to.
kinda
He's
hope
on
he
a.
balls.
She has no line. He's gonna fucking suck.
So
Jets might be sneaky good.
they are going to be sneaky good. That's a good point, Ryan.
They're
But
gonna beat the Bills the first week.
I'm glad you brought up running backs because it's absolute bullshit, dude. You can't get into the NFL more or less until you're 21 as a running back. You sign if you're worth your weight in salt, and a lot of guys recently, teams aren't drafting running backs, especially in the first round.
It's all
They're-
offensive,
they're
offensive,
draft-
li-
they're
offensive
dra-
linemen.
They are drafting running backs, but not in the first round until recently.
Yeah.
Zeke was the first one that I can remember in a long time prior to that, a couple years, where you saw a guy go top 5 as a running back. And then you had Fournette, and then you had a couple
Yeah.
guys after that. The problem is he signed I think a 4-year deal with a 5th-year extension. I don't know if it was a player
He's
or
like
a
at
team.
number 3, right?
Yeah, I think he was
He's his third.
it's his 3rd year right now, going into his 4th. When he's 25, 26, he is quote-unquote
Tail end.
damaged goods. Now, I'm not. Let me rephrase that. At 25, 26, you're still in your prime. You could still make money, but you're on the back end of your prime.
Yeah.
You're on the back end.
Well, the way he plays.
You've
too.
got one chance to make money, and if your one chance is to sit out like Gurley did, like Le'Veon did, or Zeke did, I'm all for it, man. Especially in a sport that I have said I like it brutal.
Yeah.
It is a brutal sport,
And they're
and
getting
no.
hit, and they're 3 down backs. I
Nothing
get
is
it.
more taxing
Yeah.
on the body than running back.
I understand him sitting out. I don't like it, but I'm trying to figure out how we fix that.
I think
Okay.
the
I don't
most-
know. I don't know if this is the way how, because players are gonna go, no, fuck you, I'm an A, I'm not gonna go down to a B. I understand that. I don't know how you fix it other than going year to year and becoming
That'll
a free
never
agent,
happen.
becoming a free agent every year.
I don't think the players would like that.
Why? Why wouldn't they?
Because they know the nature of the game as well. They're not stupid.
Yeah.
I think
That's
the big-
fine. It makes it even more of a. So like everybody goes, he's in a contract year. Look at him go. Look at him bust out. They'd be on a contract year every year.
I think the number one thing that you can do to if your goal is to decrease the holdouts is make rookie contracts 2 years. I think in the NFL, within 2 years, you can kind of figure out who's a dog and who isn't. And if you do that, the market decides. So you guys, there's 3 picks amongst you two that I don't agree with from just a fundamental level, and that is the tiered
Helmets.
contract. No, they kind of all lump into me. Is the tiered contracts, the affordability. While me personally, I see the good in that, but the affordability in your guaranteed contracts. When you put in rules for that, you're trying to control the free market. You're getting in the way of capitalism.
That's why I go one. That's
like-
why I go solo year.
Like Zeke doesn't decide what his contract is. Jerry Jones doesn't even decide what his contract is. The market decides what his contract is. From a higher level, like the market decides what Zeke should or should not be paid for how long or how little.
Yeah, but Jerry Jones already said that. He's like, we're not breaking records here.
As a rookie, you
And that's his
unfortunately.
decision. That's
But he
a
doesn't.
free market
But
decision.
he deserves to break records.
But it goes back to my point that the rookie contract is too long because it does handcuff these guys,
That's
especially
also an agent thing.
especially running backs. No, I get it, but they're kind of like when you're just coming into the league, you take what you get.
Well, guess what? If you sign a
No,
two-year,
Bosa sat out.
if you sign a 2-year contract as a rookie right now without a guaranteed contract,
You're getting 10 million.
you might get 8.
Yeah.
You might.
And I don't feel bad for you for getting $8 million. You fucking have $8 million. Figure your life out.
Okay, I get it. Compared to the
But if-
general populace, I think guaranteed contracts fucking end that shit. If you give me a 2-year deal with a guaranteed contract worth 20 million, 22 million, all right, we'll talk ball. But I'm not signing for 8 million and I might be done in my first year and I can never play again.
And
Fuck that.
my point is that if you took a guy like Zeke while he was at the horseshoe in his Buckeye days, okay, and you said to his 22-year-old self, hey, or whatever he was, we're going to give you a 2-year deal, and you got to bet on yourself, basically. After that 2 years, you
Fuck
go where
that.
you want.
The
Fuck that.
Ricky,
You-
the
you
Ricky
don't-
Williams Master P
Oh,
deal.
he's going with it.
Fuck
Absolutely.
that.
Why
There-
wouldn't he?
Because you don't know what's going to happen to me in year 1.
Yeah, you
of
could
course
blow
I
your
can
knee
bet
out.
on myself. I know I'm better.
But you're
I
not-
can't control what's going to happen to me on the field.
But it's not guaranteed anyways.
I'm saying in your scenario, if I
I'm
have to
saying
sign a
I'm-
2-year deal, non-guaranteed, fuck that. I don't want 8. I want to sign a 5-year and get my 30. So at least I get something.
I think he bets on himself and goes for it. I
Well,
really do.
That's
A
the
guy like
that's the
him.
Ricky Williams. All fucking. If I rush for 1,000, I get
And the guaranteed
$3
thing,
million.
There's nothing stopping Jerry Jones from going to Ezekiel Elliott and saying, "Hey, we're going to give you 4 years guaranteed." He can do that. That is allowed, right? He
But
can
they'll
they
never
get-
do it for a rookie.
because the market. No, I'm saying right now because the market doesn't.
Because he knows.
Why
he
would
won't-
he?
Because he knows that's a problem. I'm saying the market is a problem.
Well,
That's my point.
The rookie market.
No, the market period is a problem. NBA players, guaranteed contracts. NHL players,
Yeah.
guaranteed
MLB.
contracts. MLB, guaranteed contracts. NFL is the only sport and the one with the most volatility and the shortest lifespan, and you don't get a guaranteed
But
contract?
I
Well,
think
that's the reason
why.
why.
I think that's why.
That's the reason why.
But that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
No, it's
And
not.
you wonder why these guys sit out. They go, "Fuck you! I don't get my guaranteed money. Why would I
But
put
a lot
my
of them are
body on
getting
the
a
line?"
lot of them are getting big guarantees now. A
But
lot of them are.
You see on ESPN. I don't.
Quarterbacks mainly though.
I don't know the number, and I'm just going to make one up. Matt Ryan, $200 million, 4 years, $200 million, 90s guaranteed
but
as a quarterback.
the current climate of the
But that
NFL,
makes sense.
Matt Ryan is protected. You can't touch
How?
a quarterback.
Sure,
You know what I'm saying?
From a
running
penalty
backs
standpoint.
can,
They no,
and that's why
but
I'm
that's-
okay with them sitting out.
Like I said, I'm not
Receivers, I'm okay.
I'm not.
Sit out.
I
Get your money, bro.
I understand why they sit out. I just want to figure out how to make them not want to sit out.
Give
But-
them guaranteed money.
By the way,
Okay, so let's just say Zeke, right? So say Zeke, what's his contract right now? What was he going to make this year? Anybody know?
I don't.
I think it's like $8 million.
$8 million. Okay, so he's going to make $700,000 a game,
Yep.
right? Something like that.
Yep.
So you think that if he was going to make $1 million a game, he's playing?
Who said it's going to be $1 million a game?
That's a franchise tag, more or less. It's pretty
Little-
close,
little less.
right?
I don't know.
It's pretty close. I think
Franchise
it's like
tag-
it's
it's
like
like
it's
15.
like 40,
I
it's
literally-
like 15.
I think it'd be more if you got all of it guaranteed. He's probably getting
But I'm saying you
maybe
think- you
half
th- you
guaranteed,
think
so you
he-
have to double that.
You think he plays? if he-
1.4.
You think? Would you think he played if he got He's not going to get franchise tags because he already said he won't. But
They
you
don't
think
have a
he?
choice.
No, they don't. But if he
So you could say
if he
whatever
gets
he
$1
wants.
million a game, he's going to play.
I don't think he's if guaranteed versus non-guaranteed, he gets more than
What about like
300,000.
What about like sloping contracts?
What do
like,
you mean?
Like where, sorry, your rookie year, we're going to pay you $4 million.
If they agree to that, that's fine, as long as all guaranteed. If they agree,
But what if it's not guaranteed? Okay, listen to this. Okay, so they do a 5-year, right? His rookie year. They go, all right, just like baseball. You know, baseball is all
guaranteed?
Well, it's guaranteed, but it's
That's
no,
the
it's,
only
yeah,
point of my
yeah,
argument.
It does
That's
make,
the only
yeah,
point of my argument.
That doesn't make sense what I was saying. But okay, so they say, all right, your rookie year, we're going to give you $4 million. Your next year, based on your performance, we're going to give you 6. After that, we're going to go 10. Then we're going to go 15.
Okay.
Like,
all guaranteed. Where do I sign? That's to
I-
your point.
what if
proving
it's
your worth.
What if it's not guaranteed
and
for the
you
first?
get it.
What if the first 2 are guaranteed, and then after that, it's 10, 15 based on performance?
I'm sure, and I don't know, but I have to assume that the guys are negotiating that way.
Yeah.
I got to assume that that's how they
Yeah.
negotiate.
And no owner's going to do that. No owner's going to give you a sloping guaranteed contract. In the NFL, like you said, it's too volatile.
Then sign him to a 2-year deal. And if the guy
I'm good with that.
if a guy wants to sign for the Buffalo Bills for 3 years
year to year,
on a
year to year is a fix.
on a 3-year contract with that sloping contract, if that GM wants to make that deal, that owner wants to make that deal, go play for Buffalo.
Yeah.
I don't care.
DeMarco Murray's a perfect fucking example of this. Like, he had the best line in the NFL. He went, he got paid, he fucking sucked. He
Wasn't
sucked.
that bad.
No, I mean, he wasn't the number 1 offensive line in the NFL with the Cowboys. So no way anybody's going to give you a guaranteed contract based on what you did with a better line.
And that's fair. That's the market, to Ryan's point.
I'm going back to year to year.
No.
Year to
I
year
want to hear
fixes it.
Ryan. Yeah.
Couple things. One, I'm okay with the guys sitting out, because to me that's playing the market. That's their negotiating style. If Zeke wants to miss out on millions and millions of dollars by holding out because he thinks that he's going to get paid on the back end for that move, I'm all for that.
Well, they've seen it. They've seen it work.
But that's Zeke.
Todd Gurley,
But
Bell.
that's Zeke playing the
Emmett
free
Smith.
market.
And
And
I want
Barry
you to
Sanders.
I want you to make your point, Ryan. But most of those teams, after they sign them, they waive those sitting out. They don't charge them for that.
Well, that's fine, but it still looms over their head. They don't have to do that.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Sure,
Like,
but
that's
it-
still a very real thing that can happen.
That's a good faith thing when you make that contract negotiation.
Yeah.
If I'm going to sign, you're not charging
Hey.
me for that shit.
Hey, we're all good.
Deal.
Shake hands. Move on.
Deal.
So hypothetically, if he didn't get a I don't know the answer to this. Hypothetically, if Zeke doesn't sign with the Cowboys, they could make him pay back that contract.
Yes.
Absolutely.
okay.
Not the contract, but the games that he set out,
Yeah.
which are in the contract already. If you miss training camp, you miss.
There's
He,
just like
he actually pays those back.
He has to. I don't know if he pays them back or if he does. I know he doesn't get paid
no.
for
I
it.
think
Well,
he
no, he
just
doesn't get
misses
paid
out.
for
He just
sure.
misses
Yeah.
out on getting paid.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think they should get paid if they sit out and get signed after.
They
Like
don't.
if Zeke comes back
They
week
don't.
5, okay, I'm fine with that.
They
Yeah.
don't.
No,
They
I didn't
don't.
know. I didn't know the answer to that.
They
Sorry.
don't. If I'm an owner right now, I'm not saying this is right, but it is, like I said, I keep going back to it, but it is what the market is, right? If I'm an owner right now, I try to sign a guy for as many years as I can, non-guaranteed, and the only position that I'm giving guaranteed money to are actually 2: kickers and quarterbacks. That's it. And look, it's like when you buy a house and then you decide to sell it, you don't decide how much that house is worth. The market decides how much that house is worth. And the market in other sports has decided that these guys, to lock them up for what you want, it's guaranteed money.
I saw that, yeah.
So I'm not a big fan of interfering with the free market, no matter what it is. And is it a perfect world? No, but to come in here and say you have to start giving these guys guaranteed money, I don't agree with that. You have the freedom to. These guys also have the freedom to sit out and do a lockout. They have the freedom to do that, and I'd be completely fine with that.
And I agree, but let's.
NFLPA is not going
I'm going to use your housing.
But they might get what they want.
I'm going to use your housing idea. Did we, as taxpayers, not bail out the quote-unquote free market for the housing crisis?
Well, that was also
That
because
they-
it was going to bankrupt the entire world.
That's totally understand, but let's not act like we can't change the free market.
Yeah. I understand. No, I see what you're saying.
Let's not say that that's totally out of the question.
Absolutely. So what I'm saying is, if these guys really want guaranteed money, I can almost guarantee that if all the players decided we're not playing,
They can't.
yes, they can.
Ryan, they can't because only the top tier guys are getting top tier money. You think guys on the practice squad are going to sign with that union and say, I'm going to sit out, I'm only making $150K?
It's like the movie Replacements.
They can't. They cannot afford to do that. That's why the NFLPA has never been able to sit there for a long amount of time and agree on anything that works.
And I would say the majority is probably on the bottom end.
and it's all on the bottom end.
So
I
you're
know
saying
those
a guy-
guys want
you're
guaranteed
saying
contracts.
A guy like Zeke will sit out, but the fourth guy down on the practice squad won't.
I'm saying Zeke can afford to sit out.
Right.
The other guys cannot.
Right.
And that's why when the NFLPA comes to them, they go, dude, I don't want to sign for I need money.
So
I can't
that's-
do
I
this.
want that 400 grand.
I need that. I need that.
Okay, so that's a good point because there's deeper rosters in the NFL than most sports. So I get that, but I'm gonna counter that argument and say that if the top, let's just say 40%, let's be conservative here, top 40% of the dudes in the league sat out,
I would say it's less than that, but
the NFL would be hurting,
oh yeah,
and they would, and there's probably somewhere in the middle. Like if these guys really want guaranteed money, if they come back and say, all right, we'll give our top tier guys,
It's probably top 20%.
20?
That can
I would
afford-
go 10.
Yeah. And there's only
Yeah.
so few guys that could really afford it.
I
Okay.
bet the bottom, okay, say 53 man roster. I bet 33 of those guys are on league minimum. Maybe not that many.
yeah.
Yeah.
I bet it's 33. I bet it's 60%.
I don't
There's
know.
there's old guys on $1 million contracts, single year, stuff like
Okay,
that. But
okay, let's play that out. Okay, we have an NFL with no Aaron Rodgers, no Mahomes, no Brady,
fantasy football's dead.
no Travis Kelce, no Zeke. Take the best receiver, best tight end, best quarterback, best running back from every team, the starters.
Best 3 defenders.
I think that NFL hurts big time.
People don't play fantasy football anymore.
And so if that happens, and these guys are like, hey, we want 20% of our contracts to be guaranteed, which I think is fair. All I'm saying is, don't just make a rule that it has to be that way. Let the market decide. And if you really want it, pony up, put your dicks on the table, and make it happen.
I think the top.
That's my argument.
I think the top guys, the Mahomes, the Rodgers, they'd say, "Fuck yeah, dude, I'll sit out. Fuck them.
Yeah.
Fuck them."
I want the season to
But
be
guess
12
what?
games anyways.
The backup
That's what I'm saying.
the backup nose tackle,
Yeah. Long
and,
snapper.
and the long snapper,
Yeah.
and the safety, the 2 safeties for the Jaguars you've never heard of. Be like, fuck that, dude. We need to play because guess what? Guess what it takes to get that to happen? A lockout. And what happens when a lockout happens? Nobody gets paid.
No, but
Coaches.
Nobody.
What I'm
Everybody.
saying is the whole. It's not. It's
Assistant coaches.
It's not
None
a.
of-
It's not a pass or fail. Like the whole league doesn't have to lock out. I'm saying you take the top 10% of the dudes. Like I said, starting
does.
quarterback, starting receiver, starting tight end, and starting running back. Say we're not
so
showing up.
So they go to battle for everybody.
Yeah,
It does take a lockout. It does take a lockout.
I don't think so.
'Cause
Why?
guess what?
Where does
The-
it say that?
Well, nowhere, it's not written anywhere, but like it takes a lockout to show uniformity to say, we are going to do this. And until you budge, we're not going to do this.
No,
We're not going to do this.
But there's ways to do that for and just the top guys sitting out. Aaron Rodgers holds a press conference and says, "Hey, I don't think this is fair. My guy, my backup quarterback, I know it's not Kaiser anymore, but say it was Deshaun Kaiser. He needs to play because he needs to pay, put food on the table for his family, and I support that guy playing. But I'm not going to play till you guys make something different. And if the top 10% of the league does that, things will change.
It sounds nice, but I just don't think
I don't think they go to
that
bat
would
for
happen.
him.
I don't think
they
they will
go to
either,
bat for him.
but
They go
that
to
goes
bat
back
for
to my
him.
point.
That
It's the
doesn't happen.
I agree. It goes back to the free market. Why the fuck would they? I wouldn't.
No, I wouldn't either.
I'm better than you. Sorry, be better.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I don't know. It's
It's-
just the market. Like,
I think there's too much like. I mean the holding out thing is not new either. I mean, like Emmitt Smith did it. Emmitt Smith did it until like Game 6, and then they won the Super Bowl.
I think it's
like-
actually exciting. I think it brings in the business side of sports that we don't get to see as much
It
as
looks
I like.
It looks tacky to me.
I don't think they're worried about being tacky or polite. I think
No, I don't
give a
think they
shit.
are.
I think
no, they
it's-
don't. They
it's
don't.
shrewd.
And me personally, as a person, if that was me in that position, I'm doing the same thing. I'm just trying to figure out how we
Yeah.
keep from doing that.
But why does it hurt? I don't think it hurts the sport. I think if anything, it helps it. It keeps
I
it
think
in the news.
I think it looks like a whiny fucking millionaire arguing with a billionaire.
Well, that's what the NFL is, and if people don't see that, then shame on them. I mean, it
No,
is
they
what
see
it
it.
is.
They know what it is,
And
but
we-
there's still
but we-
fans.
But we
there's
still
fans.
watch.
Oh, I'm gonna watch because I play fantasy football.
I don't think it's as black as white as a millionaire arguing with a billionaire. When it comes down to brass tacks, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
It's a millionaire arguing with a billionaire.
Well, when you're, I mean, not
Totally
us.
agree.
We're,
Totally agree.
We're able to grasp that what's
of course,
going on.
of course, me sitting here drinking a Bud Light, it's like, dude, what are you bitching about? You got
Yeah.
20 mil in the bank.
Yeah.
You know what that guy would say to me? Fucking play 5 snaps as a running back.
Yeah. No, I understand that. I
Do
totally
it.
get it.
I dare you.
I get
dare
it.
you.
And if they gave me $1 million, I'd do it. And I'd take those hits and I'd fucking be
Guaranteed or no?
retired.
If you only
If I
get
make it through the first down,
if you get it through
so I get
first down,
20,000 per down.
I'll get you 10,000. You make it through 2,
Yeah.
I'll give you 30, and then if you get it through 3, I'll give you another 30, and on the 4th one, you'd be like,
Yeah.
"Fuck that, dude."
But the problem is they're
I'm not
gonna
going to make it
they're
to
not
4.
They're not gonna win with me at that. When I take a hit from J.J. Watt.
I understand that, Cameron.
Yeah.
It was-
No, I know.
I
what
think
you're
another point to your point that I personally think is more important is, you know, yeah, us average Joes, we can't make it through a series, let alone a couple downs. No shot, right? We'd be hurting. But
I'd be
I
dead.
think the argument to your point would more so be if Zeke's sitting here and you're like, dude, you're paid. Why are you worrying about this? Just show up and play football. He'd be like, would you leave $10 million on the table if you knew that you could get it? No matter
No.
what you're doing. No, you would not.
That's what I'm saying.
So-
in any job,
No
if
matter
you
what
feel
it
like you
is.
are overperforming your contract, do
Yeah.
you not go to your boss and ask for a raise?
saying.
Do you not?
should.
If it's $1 an hour or $1 million a game, if you know your worth, you should fight for it, and that's the free market on
Now-
both sides.
Now, if I looked at me at a golf company, I understand that baseball, basketball, and
How
football.
is your job at Mulligan's? You liking it?
I love it. Yeah, it's great,
Pink balls roll the best.
dude. So true.
The pink balls.
Blue balls are the worst.
Sorry. I always play with the blue balls. All right, go ahead. Sorry.
I bring my
No,
own.
you're
I bring
fine.
my own putter too.
You're
Don't be that guy. Don't be that guy.
Who has the Scotty Cameron? He's playing slow.
These greens are bumpy as fuck. But
Bryson DeChambeau.
let's say that one company is guaranteed, the other is guaranteed, the other is guaranteed. Obviously, I can't jump from one to another. So that, now that I'm thinking it back, it's not a great example. But I just don't understand why, to your point, the free market, and this is probably why you disagree with me on this, I hate how the owners and the GMs have so much power. It's too much power.
That's
to be
life.
able
I
to
don't know. I think that's
to be able to cut guys who are taking those hits and doing all that stuff, and to be able to negate a contract on the spot. And these guys, they get shit. And I'm not saying you're giving them shit because I know you understand. You just think it looks whiny. But the fact that every time someone sits out, they go, "Shut the fuck up and play ball, dude. Just play ball." Fuck
I don't.
that.
I don't think like that.
Fuck that. I'm not saying you are, but
Yeah.
you know a lot of people do.
I like the Dak move better.
Well, Dak's not holding out, and Dak's not
Well,
worth
he's-
that kind of money.
Well, he's holding out for a contract, but he's showing up to practice. He's improving the team.
Zeke knows that offense revolves around him.
For
He's
sure.
got
Okay,
ultimate
okay,
power.
Just think of Zeke. Just goes about it a little bit different. You know, he shows up to practice. Shows up to practice and just shows that he's on board. He doesn't play in a preseason game. He doesn't. Antonio Brown is doing this right now. He's not holding out for a contract, but he's not playing because he doesn't want to play preseason. There's no reason for him not to play preseason. His feet got hurt.
You
no,
said it
whatever.
yourself. That's a totally different argument.
No, but it makes him look.
He's not holding out.
Repeat your argument that you just said.
Which one? The fact that if I don't show up, that part?
Yeah.
I got no problem with you not showing up. That's not.
Yeah.
I don't.
You're a commodity.
If. All right, I'm gonna try to backtrack where I was. The offense runs through Zeke. Everyone knows that.
Every team.
That
runs
is
through
a
Zeke.
Super Bowl contender
Yeah.
with Zeke. Without Zeke, I don't even know who their backup.
They
Paul,
win. They
Pollock?
win. They win the NFC.
I don't even think they win.
NFC, whatever they're in South.
Why do I need to show up for practice when he's doing his workouts on the
NFC
side?
East, I think.
You're not paying me. I'm losing money while I'm not doing this.
No, they're paying him.
Sorry,
to go
I was
to-
talking more of your owners and GMs having too much power.
Okay, I got you.
I kind of want you to dive into that a little bit more.
They do have too much power. And the fact they have so much power because it's not guaranteed, they know that they can just cut a guy on a whim, no problem. All right, you remember when I said I was going to pay you $3 million and you signed for the 6? And maybe it's his problem for signing for the 6, but unfortunately the market's fucked, so there's no way you're going to give me more than that, so I just have to sign. And then you can just cut me on a whim? I don't like that. If you want to be Kawhi Leonard and sit out, one of the top 3 players in the NBA, you can sit out, no repercussions, you keep cashing your paycheck. Why can the NFL not be the same way? I don't get it.
I don't agree with
I
sitting
think-
out and getting paid.
I think I agree with that. I think
If you're gonna
that's-
sit out, you don't get paid, which is fine.
I agree.
I'm good with that.
Yeah, that
Use
should
it as a
change.
leverage tactic. I'm
That should
okay with
change
that.
in other sports. I think
Why do-
I'm okay with the owners and GMs having control
Yeah, I am too.
because it's just that's life. But I think there's two things.
Without them, there's no NFL.
There's two things to
And
to
without
blame.
the players, there's not either. But
There's two things to blame for that. One is, and this is the hardest one to change, and I don't know how you change it, but it's supply and demand. Perfect example of that is the Steelers last year. Le'Veon never shows up, but Connor
fucking
shows the
balls
fuck
out.
up. Okay.
Great. They didn't
I'm-
make the playoffs.
Yeah, but it wasn't because of James Conner.
They
It was
they
turmoil.
were
It was
they,
turmoil.
they were a playoff team with Le'Veon.
They're a playoff team with just Big Ben on the
Le'Veon
field.
wins you 1 or 2 games. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah.
Well, Connor
And
did
Antonio
too.
Brown.
Connor did too.
But I'm saying
I'm
Le'Veon
saying-
wins you 1 or 2 more.
Okay. I mean, the Steelers were a dumpster fire last year, in my opinion, for a lot of reasons. But my
They missed
point
the
is that
playoffs by a game.
the difference between a guy like Connor. Now, I will say, I'll admit that Connor, as far as a dude that stepped up, was better than most in that position. I'll give you that.
And when Connor got hurt,
Yeah.
they were fine.
And that even more to my point.
But
So-
they're not great.
Yeah, but I think in the Steelers situation, that was more because of Big Ben's lack of leadership, AB going off the rails, a bunch of different other things happening, right? I don't think it's because of their running back situation as much. I agree. Le'Veon Bell is
They would have
better.
been better.
For sure.
That's my
But-
point.
But not better enough. So this is the supply and demand, right? The curve. Not better enough to constitute paying Le'Veon. And that's the problem for the players with the NFL is that's they're always fighting against that supply and demand. I mean, other than quarterbacks, really,
Everybody else
everyone's
is on the chopping block.
replaceable to a certain extent. Like, and so there's that part, and then the second part is the players. Now, like I said, they're fighting that supply and demand curve for sure, but there was a hijack of the NBA by the players, and that took a lot of dudes, not a standard lockout, but a lot of dudes standing, together, and basically saying, "Nah, we run this." And
How did the NHL lockout work out? Did it work out better for the players, or did it?
I don't know contract
I don't know.
wise.
I don't know a whole bunch about the NHL.
They made a
Yeah.
bunch of rule
but
changes.
I just
know-
remember them doing.
I know
it.
they made rule changes.
Yeah.
They moved the offsides
I
lineup
don't,
up.
I don't know enough
and-
to say either on that one.
Yeah. They
But-
moved the offsides lineup. That's all I know because it was
Those are the only two things to
Terrible to
blame.
watch.
Like, if the owners and GMs are getting away with this, then, I mean, I would. If I was an owner or GM,
I totally get it, but that's my problem. Just because you can get away with it doesn't mean you should.
I mean, the owners to me.
I want to make one point
Go ahead.
before we get off the Le'Veon Bell. It goes back to my point of being you're close to being washed up goods. All right,
Yep.
we're gonna bring a rookie in. Okay, so what happens when James Conner is 3 years in? He's beat up. then he gets treated like dog shit.
He'll get
No.
recycled, yeah.
And then it's an everlasting cycle. And
Yeah.
to me, that's wrong. These guys are battling. I love the fact that these guys are gladiators. I respect the shit out of that. I've said I want these guys to knock the shit out of each other. That's why I want them to get paid for what they're doing. I don't like the fact that these guys are just going, all right, thanks for the 4 years. Peace out, new kid.
That's,
but
the,
that's
that's the
out.
name of the game.
They're
New
not
kid.
doing it. The owners and GMs aren't doing anything unethical.
I'm not saying it's unethical. I'm just saying if every other sport
You want them
gets
to love them more, or
what I didn't say
Like
anything about
they're-
love,
like-
but
but they
No, but
got to
what-
do what they
okay,
got to
so-
do. Like their
okay,
job
so
is to put the best product
let's
on the
just
field.
say let's
the
just
best
say
product was Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Let's just say there's a guy like
That's the
you
best
know,
product.
a DB that goes in the fucking 6th round, you know, somebody like that. You can't make a contract for a guy like that.
You can.
You can, but he's not going to want
The
so-
free market
so,
can
okay,
decide that with guaranteed contracts.
You can, but okay, so a guaranteed contract,
You
right?
can have both.
Let's do a guaranteed contract on a 6th round DB that balls out. The next year he's a Richard Sherman. He guaranteed contract for $1 million a year. He signed up for 5. He can just go sit out.
Let's be honest.
Okay.
Most 6th-round picks don't get 5-year deals.
Okay, but let's say he gets a 3-year deal,
Not
and
usually.
his first year, he goes out and
Probably
he fucking
get 2 with an option.
he balls out.
For 2
he-
years, get your money, bro. Your contract's up. Go get your money.
Yeah, but I mean, it
It
just
doesn't work
it
like-
just seems like they would tie more people up by giving guaranteed contracts.
And that's what, to me, makes it fun, man. Like, fucking, if you think a guy's good,
But what if they give him low money, and
then
he's stuck in
then
it?
he goes to the Bills.
No, but he's stuck in it for 5 years.
That's the Harper.
You're
That's
six-
the Harper approach.
Every team in every other sport has to make that. And the only difference is baseball. They don't have a salary cap.
They have rookie contracts too.
They don't have a salary cap, which makes it
rookie
a different
whatever.
ball game. NFL has a strict salary
That
cap.
arbitration or whatever it is.
NBA, also the same way. They have a salary cap, but you can go over the tax threshold.
Yeah, just pay
Make
it.
the NFL like that. Give them, if you want to spend a little more money, you want to be over the luxury tax, you can, but it's gonna cost you.
I think
If you want to keep the Legion and Boom together, but if you want to
No.
keep them together,
I interrupted. Sorry.
go ahead.
Yeah.
If you want to pay it,
Oh,
pay
I'm
it.
cool with that.
So I think, you know,
That goes back to free market. You fucking want to pay him, pay him.
Pay him.
You got a guy like the Clippers guy that's got fucking money coming out of his asshole.
Ballmer.
Let him pay it.
Do it.
So I think that as we talk this out, something that I'm going to propose that I think might be a good like middle of the road is, one, take away the salary cap. I'm a big fan of that. I love that in baseball. Like, if you want a better team, show up and buy a hot dog. Okay. I think the thing to do is make every contract guaranteed, just the base contract, and then make everything else performance based. So if you get hurt, if you don't play well, if you don't show up, you don't get paid. And so that means
All
Aaron
for it.
Rodgers, you get a $20 million for 4 years contract. But if you throw 20 touchdowns and you play 9+ games and you do this, that, or the other, and you don't hold out, you're gonna get paid $98 million.
Did you see Ricky
I'm
Williams?
so-
Did you see Ricky Williams'
I'm
contract?
so cool with that because
The-
you combine both worlds. Give
Yeah.
my man his money, but also you got to hold your weight in salt. I don't want you knowing
good with
how
that.
volatile the NFL is. If you blow your knee out, you don't meet those incentives.
So then
But
that
then
still
the
keeps.
guarantees would be low though.
Yeah, they would be. They'd have to be.
They'd have to be low.
They'd have to be low.
well, depending on what the guarantee is.
So an Aaron Rodgers who gets what, $30 million a year, he would get $5 million a year.
For a player, it's lower risk, higher reward.
No, I wouldn't say that. What? Because Aaron Rodgers and Matt Ryan and maybe not Deshaun yet.
No, you
but
just by the way it would pan out, it would have to be low guarantees.
Yes.
I
That's
would
the only
say
way it would work.
Here's an example. Let me like map this out. Let's use Aaron Rodgers. Say right now he gets 30 million ish, whatever.
Merit,
Okay.
yeah.
Let's just say he gets 30 million.
on average he throws 35 touchdowns a year.
Okay, but let's just say
He throws
his
40.
guaranteed money per year.
40, yeah.
No,
his
I mean if he throws 40.
guaranteed money per year is half. It's 15 million. So his leg is shot in a hunting accident. He still gets his $15 million. Now, in the world today, if he just goes out and plays,
Makes playoffs.
he gets 30
Does
million.
this.
But in this world, he throws 50 touchdowns, they win, they go to the playoffs.
Patrick Mahomes.
He could potentially make $45 million. So there has to be some upside for them, but then the downside isn't as low, but it holds the owners and GMs to a little bit stricter rules, I
think-
guess, because then they have to make a decision.
Now, a little-
if Rodgers is washed up, they have to say, well, we're still on the hook for $15 million. Does it still make sense to have him on? You know, things like that. So
Little-
that's the farthest I would go on that.
So, little devil's advocate. Basketball, if you look at most of their contracts, they are tiered. They go, I'm just going to use Kobe. I don't know the numbers. Let's say he gets paid 150 for 5 years. 150 for 5 years. It's an average of 30 a year, right? They go 15 year one, 21 year two. Typically, they tier it
Yeah, same with baseball.
upward.
Yeah.
Upward. And same with baseball.
Yeah.
If I'm Matt Ryan or Aaron Rodgers, I go, okay, you're gonna give me 15 year one, but if I'm an agent, I would attack this as saying, all right, you're gonna give me 15, and the incentives are gonna be high, super high,
'cause he's younger.
the first 3 years, and then you're gonna give me the incentives
And let them
out-
figure out
trailed
however
off.
they want.
I'm cool with that.
How
I
are
was
they?
saying though that I wrote it
But-
down. I was gonna say if you do something like that, it's going to punish rookies.
You got to
It'll
pay your
pun-
dues.
it'll punish rookies.
gotta pay your
Yeah,
dues.
but a rookie as a running back is different than a rookie as a quarterback. A rookie as a running back, you're gonna have to make their incentives fucking massive because
It's
they
not-
have 5 years.
Bro, I've got no problem with that if you're a third or fourth round running back pick. But if
No,
you're
but if you're
Zeke,
Zeke-
if you're
if you're-
Zeke, if you're top 4, you're gonna pay me my money. You thought I was good enough. You're gonna pay me my money.
Look, this isn't about leveling the playing field or making it fair for everyone.
No, I understand
This is
that.
just
I'm not saying
I
that.
do like a certain amount, not everything, but a certain amount being guaranteed.
It is.
So the owners and GMs can't just cut a guy out of nowhere.
That's the part that
If
bothers
he
me.
gets hurt, then he's toast. Like, I agree with that to a certain extent, but you know, it's not going
That's
to
kind of
be.
where the signing bonus comes in, right?
It's not going to be fair for everyone.
More or less.
More
Hey,
or
we're gonna
less.
we give you a 30 million. We're gonna give you 10 up front, and then after that, you're kind of yeah. I like a merit-based system. I like it.
I'm not against it.
Ricky
but
Williams tried it, and it didn't work out.
and it
He also had Master P as his agent.
well, that's your issue.
No, he did. He didn't get any money, and everything was merit-based. It was like, if I run for 1,000
remember
yards,
that.
I get this. If I run for this, I get this.
Well, wasn't that when he was trying to come back?
No, that was when he came out of college.
Oh,
That was when he came out of college. Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah. No, I think honestly the one way you fix it is go year to year. You go year to year and you go, all right, we're gonna give you $6 million guaranteed for this year. If you fucking perform next year, maybe you're worth 20. Get rid of this loyalty that you're stuck to a team.
That has its pros and its cons for sure.
No, I mean it takes away. It definitely takes away from team building for sure, but
Yeah, but
I don't care about that.
I think in today's world, especially with social media, it's more about the NFL brotherhood than necessarily the teammate stuff. I mean, that's
Yeah.
nice, but in a world where you can be traded like that and you have no idea that it's even coming,
I'm fine with that.
I think people-
like the thing with the owners having too much power.
No,
I
I'm
don't give a fuck.
I'm fine
I
with
don't.
that too.
I don't care. You're not an NFL player without the owners.
If you want,
Just like a business owner.
Yeah,
If you're a
if you-
business owner, why do you think you should make as much money as me when I put everything
Yeah.
up and I put?
yeah,
But also, I mean, you hear about like guys like Jerry Jones that got the city to pay for 60% of his stadium and shit
no,
like
he's
that.
smart.
No, well,
He's smart.
it's smart, but it's also
It's like with the Spanos family, mainly Dean, when they moved to
yeah.
LA.
Uh-huh.
There's a lot of people in our region specifically that are real pissed off about
Yeah, but
that.
the San Diego had a chance to keep them.
That and my argument always is,
Kinda.
look, if
They're the ones who voted.
How-
Hotel tax.
how do you get mad at him? I would do the same thing. That moment he moved his team to LA, they became more valuable.
He's
No
gonna
matter
sell
how
them
many
too.
people are sitting in the stands, the fact that he is in LA, the team is more valuable.
It
Overnight.
is.
Overnight.
No, I get it. But that's why owners
can't
suck.
blame 'em.
That's why owners suck.
But you
But
can't
it's all
blame
dollars
him.
and cents, just the same as a running back.
Yeah.
You can say that they're making their money just the same, but they're going to try to make more.
No, I get it.
Like you don't buy the Chargers to save the world. You buy the Chargers to make the most money.
Oh,
and put the
absolutely.
be-
Well,
and make the
unless you're the
best team.
Clippers guy and then you just want to be on the sidelines cheering like a maniac.
Yeah, and that's one. I'm a
And
Laker,
I love him.
I'm a Laker fan, but I love Steve Ballmer. I think he's an outstanding owner.
He's one of the best things to happen to the NBA. He's
I
like
mean,
a little
Ballmer-
fan.
Ballmer?
He's like a little fan on the side, just fucking.
Ballmer doesn't make me want to watch the NBA
Well,
anymore
it's fun.
unless-
No, but I think he is an
You got Kawhi.
infectious personality, and I think he's a great owner.
He's got buddies hanging out with him and shit. Yeah, it looks like fun.
He's a funky guy.
He has no idea
Um,
what's going on in the game, and he's fucking cheering and shit. Yeah, it's awesome.
So this will be a quick one because there's a few big ones. But Tybo, your steroids one, I gotta think the pick was more on the fun line. But how do you?
No, I mean it.
You really do.
I'm
I
fine
really
with
do.
it too.
Yeah.
How
If
do
you're
you-
willing to get CTE, you should be able to recover
Yeah.
faster.
Exactly.
I'm totally fine with it.
I'm fine. I'm
Fine
fine
with
with it from a product standpoint. But what about the kids?
I don't care about the kids. Fuck them.
This guy wants guaranteed contracts for grown men. That
Oh, you mean like the
are
perception? You mean the
are
perception?
millionaires, but he doesn't care about the kids.
You mean the perception of being kids?
What kid is going to get steroids
Do
just
you-
off the street?
Do you legalize it in college then?
Tybo, all that
Yes.
stuff is very like. They
You
can
really think a
access it.
12-year-old's going to shoot himself in the ass?
No, but a 12-year-old parent will.
No, that's on the parents, not on the kids.
But guess what? A 12-year-old becomes a 16-year-old, and yes, he would.
it's
Oh, I went to school with them.
if
Oh
kid-
yeah.
kids
went
did
to-
it already.
I went to school with those guys.
Can we all
They
agree
went to
that
Mexico.
in the long run, steroids are bad for you?
If you don't take it with the doctor,
Well, it just
then
depends.
yes.
It just depends.
You
Tybo.
don't-
There's
No,
a,
I'm-
From personal experience.
I'm dead serious.
No, there's-
Look at me. I've never taken a
there's-
steroid in my life.
there.
Other than when you have a cold and you get a steroid.
Okay, so I will say I did steroids in my life.
It was awesome.
It
huh?
worked fucking like a charm.
It was awesome.
I gained
just as advertised.
I gained 30 pounds in like a month, and I was fucking jacked.
You're probably an asshole. With
No,
no
I
dick.
wasn't. No, I wasn't. I was okay. Your sex
Right,
drive
he's an
definitely goes
asshole
away. Yeah, your sex drive goes away. I swear, I was doing push-ups in the mirror, and I was like, I could do this forever.
You're such a douche.
Oh, you could. Yeah, but you could. I mean, it's instant performance. It's fucking crazy.
Oh,
It's insane.
And that's the scary
But
part.
also, I didn't take it professionally. If I was doing it with a guy that was giving me TRT and fucking
The guy in
juicing
that
me up,
documentary. you
no,
guys
doing
told me
it the
about.
right way.
Screwball.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Did
you're
you watch it?
I did.
It's
yeah.
good, huh?
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
Dude, how good was that with the kids?
Dude,
Did it
Such that was awesome.
Great job.
Awesome, and they called out everyone.
everybody. But anyways,
that's
I
my
don't
only
wanna get-
concern.
yeah.
No.
Would I like to see Khalil Mack on HGH? Absolutely.
Yes.
But guys
All
like
right.
that don't need it.
I know,
All right.
but can you imagine if they did?
He
How
doesn't
about-
need it.
How about this?
I know they don't, but none of them need it.
You test in
Nah,
high
some of
school.
them do.
You test in high school. You get busted for HGH, any testosterone supplement.
I think you don't test in
You're
high
off.
school. You test in
You,
college.
you have to. You cannot test in college because you can't ask those kids to go from like normal Joes to just like
to Khalil Mack on
that's
HGH.
fucking
transition-
Khalil
that's the
Mack.
transition phase.
Yeah,
when
you
you're at the
cannot.
U.
you
Dude,
have.
I'll-
They already do that.
I'll
now,
never
bro.
forget. I was watching Hard Knocks with the Browns a couple with the Browns. I think it was last year. They had the #1 offensive lineman from Alabama. I don't remember what his name was,
Yeah,
but anyways,
yeah.
they had a practice game, like a setup practice, against Houston with J.J. Watt,
Yep.
and they're like, "All right, good luck," and he goes, "I don't know what to do." He was taking him with one hand and fucking shoving him into the quarterback, and J.J. Watt goes, "Welcome to the NFL."
Mm-hmm.
So I understand that and that guy was the shit coming out, and JJ Watt. Obviously, JJ Watt is a
All-timer.
all-timer, but he literally was just taking him with one hand, pushing him, and he's bleeding out of his fucking face.
Just
and he's like,
bull rushing him.
I'm JJ Watt. Welcome to the fucking NFL."
You have to let college kids take steroids if the guys in the NFL do. You have to. Under
Yeah,
doctors,
I think it's a slippery slope, because then you have to let like pole vaulters do it, and they're gonna be fucking
Dude,
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah,
Even
yeah.
better.
They're just going over. Yeah,
Tell me that's not
long
fun.
jumpers are going 50 feet.
I want to see 550-foot home runs. I want to see
I think in the MLB, I'm all for steroids,
all four.
because you still have to hit the ball.
See, I think that-
NFL kind of changes a little bit, because then just the strength thing comes, and NBA guys aren't going to take it.
I think there's ways.
NBA guys.
I think
Oh,
there's,
other than recovery.
I think there's ways to make the games more exciting outside of steroids. So look at baseball. Okay, there's been an absurd amount of home runs the past couple years.
Barry
It's gone
Bonds.
up the past 3 years has gone up.
Yep.
And I think most people with common sense understand that the balls are juiced.
The balls are doctored.
Okay.
For sure.
I like that better because everyone's playing with the same ball. If you allow everyone to have steroids, who has the best doctor? Who has the newest technology?
The guy with the most guaranteed
Who's
money.
getting them?
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like, it's not down to the athletes. I'd rather have a ball that's the same for everyone. And it's, you might see a 600-foot home run, but it's the same for a dude that just popped out to the pitcher. You know?
Yes. I remember when Tybo and I were watching, I think it was Boston, somebody in England. Weren't they playing in like England or something like that?
Talking the Sox?
Yeah.
Yeah, Sox,
Dude,
Yankees.
we were watching at stadium, and literally it was like 17-14 or something like that. And then right after that, this was before they said juice balls, and Justin Verlander came out. I was like, those fucking
Their
balls are
fucking
juiced.
balls are
He's like,
juiced.
those balls are juiced.
Right
Like,
before the All-Star break.
Dude, Verlander, I don't want to go on a baseball tangent, and I'm not, but Verlander,
hot wife.
he's been incredible this year. We all know this.
No.
He's got like a close to sub 2 ERA, and if you look at his runs per game, almost all of the runs he gets scored against are off a long ball. That's
Yeah.
why he gets so mad because
Oh, yeah. Oh,
goes,
I'm sure it pisses him off.
he goes, I'm fucking
Yeah,
cutting these
pop,
guys up.
Pop outs are fucking gone.
Gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I get it.
But
from a
home
pitcher
runs sell
standpoint, but-
baseball.
Well, all right.
And
Before
baseball's
just
dying.
one question for you, Rybo, because I know the baseball. How many games have you watched this year? Because I watch a lot of Red Sox games. I've seen a lot of balls where I go, oh, you got jammed a little bit. I'm like,
Gone.
what?
Yeah. No, I agree.
What?
I absolutely agree.
Yeah, gone.
Like, I used to be able to tell just even watching TV, no sound. I'm like, oh, you got jammed a little bit. That's not out. I'm like, nowadays, I'm like, what in the, that ball got out in the third,
Yeah.
fourth row? Like, what?
If you played any serious amount of baseball or have spent any serious amount of time around the game, you can pretty much watch a swing and know.
No.
If it's gone.
You know, you're not that guy at the game that
Get
like,
out, ball.
Yeah, you're not that guy, right? And I'm with you. The past couple years, there's swings, and you're like,
Is it
What?
better for the game?
absolutely.
Of
Yeah,
course.
I'm
it's
all
better.
for it.
Of
It's
course
better.
it is.
And
It's
I like
better.
that, like I said, because it's the same for everyone.
I also like seeing a no-no, though.
But how do you equate that to the NFL without steroids? You can't juice a ball.
I think the NFL doesn't
No, you
have an
can.
excitement
They
issue,
deflated it.
I don't think they do either.
so I don't think you need it.
I just want more. I want harder
You're like
hitting.
a crack addict, bro.
Dude,
I-
shoot
I-
that shit in my veins.
Look, I think there's certain sports that don't have an excitement
You're
issue.
definitely
and
gonna- you're gonna-
baseball's the only one that does.
You're going to minimize
For
the
sure.
longevity of players, though. It's going to be 21-year-old kids
They
that
will
are just
never
like
get
willing,
guaranteed
that
contracts,
are
Tybo.
willing
Better
to.
for the owners.
Well, no, you're going to explode your joints and shit like that. But I'm cool with it.
Shoot
Yeah.
up again, recover
Yeah,
faster, and
yeah.
get
That
back
was
in
my-
the game, bro.
That was my only thing. Just the
I am being
example to the kids.
I am being half facetious, but
I know.
I would love
I
to
know.
see like just the most juiced out dudes just getting car crashes. It'd be train crashes at that point.
Oh, it's going to be bad. It's going to be Harrison colliding with a fullback. That is just.
Now, if I take my funny hat off, I think someone would die if that happened.
Oh, no doubt.
I don't know
mean,
about
people
that.
already do.
I think
People already do. Think about that.
Nobody's died in the NFL. Maybe one person.
High school kids do all the time.
Well, that's because they're not. Fun.
No, I'd almost guarantee that if everyone was roided up in the NFL, at least one dude dies a year.
but you get more fights.
No, seriously, think about that.
I really think
I don't think so.
think you'd see death.
Think with
I really
technology.
do.
Maybe once every 2 years, but yeah, dudes will die.
You
well,
get
when
more
you get
fights.
when you get a
Everyone
Wes
loves a
Welker
fight.
when you get a Wes Welker going across the middle on a fucking
And Vontez
Jalen
perfect.
Jalen
Right.
Smith.
Vontez perfect. Roided up like he's not enough of an asshole.
Yeah.
Doesn't
already.
care if he lives or dies.
Yeah.
He would kill him.
Oh yeah.
Especially
well,
with no
if you take away
targeting rules.
targeting. Yeah, you
Especially
take
no-
away targeting. You're
I'm
fucking
literally
dead.
trying to get guys killed.
He would just
with
go
my list.
turn into sawdust.
Just done.
Done. His
Uh,
ashes would already be spread over the 50-yard line. We'd have to.
Ashes to ashes.
Tybo,
dust to
I had a.
dust.
I want to get into your challenge thing. I know I
Good
kind of
lord.
a
Alright,
little
alright.
bit about yours, but I almost had challenges on mine.
Okay.
I was gonna go 100% no coach challenges, all booth review instant.
all fan voted challenges.
No, all
Live
booth
voting.
review instantly because they can do it instantly, and everybody can see it on TV and everybody knows the call. I'm not talking fucking, stupid calls, but I'm talking the pass interference in the playoffs. I'm talking ones like that are automatic.
My
where you-
only. Okay. I hear you.
and it just goes, hey, no, you guys got that wrong, like instantly type thing.
It needs to be instant because the biggest issue.
It is
I
pretty
think,
quick now. I mean,
I
well,
don't
no,
think
not
so.
with the coaches. I'm talking
I
about
don't
with the
think so.
booth being able to do it.
I think that challenges are way too slow. They disrupt the
Yeah.
flow of the game. However, I think a coach should have unlimited challenges. Under the caveat that, and Rybo, like you said earlier before we were on the podcast, you already lose a timeout if you get one wrong. If you fuck it up, there's a penalty. Now,
Give me another.
if you get 3 right, after that, you lose your timeout, same as always, to kind of curb the constant stoppage of the game.
Yeah.
Now, if you have no more timeouts left, you lose possession.
That's so crazy.
You lose. You got to think about it.
That's huge.
Oh yeah.
But
You're
you've-
never gonna throw one
but-
on your own.
But you've
20.
already had 3 in your favor, and that speaks. I think that makes officiating better.
Yeah.
If you've gotten 3 right, and the 4th one costs you, well, they can't blame it on the ref. If you get 4, 5, or 6 right in a row, those refs will never officiate a championship game, a division game, God forbid, a Super Bowl. I think that there should be no penalty if the refs are doing a terrible job of you being capped out at challenges. If a ref is doing a bad job and you keep going and going and going and you go, you suck, you suck, you suck, you suck, why should I be penalized or why should I be capped when you guys can't do your job?
I had one that almost made my list also. The ref's age. There shouldn't. I mean,
I saw that you had ref's gender written down.
I did.
Oh.
That's kinda weird that
No,
you
I
didn't
had
say
ref's
that.
age that I was tossing around. There shouldn't be fucking 65-year-old guys out there. And you see some of those refs, and you're like, when you see him jogging up to the huddle with the, with the line judge, and you're like, Jesus, why is he out there?
Some of those guys are the best, though.
Yeah, not fully in agreement with that.
I'm
Not-
just saying, maybe give him a test, like, because you've seen some where it's like right in front of him, and you're like, holy
Well,
shit, man.
Who's that ref? He's the Italian guy, super suave. Gene Sachator? Is that his name?
Is he a head judge?
Yeah, he's a head judge.
Is he jacked?
That's
Kinda.
Ed Hockley.
Yeah, I know you're. No,
He-
Ed
he-
Hockley is the other guy,
he's in
but
good
I know who
shape.
you're talking about. He's kind of a darker haired dude.
And
I know
he's
who you're
just
talking.
very,
Yeah.
very calm, and
Yeah.
I love that dude. The guy, from what I watch, it's efficient. To your point, Rybo, he kind of lets the guys play. I like guys like that. Now there's the, granted, saying older white hair referee probably doesn't do me a lot, but he's also older and he.
No, there's some
calls
good for sure.
decent
But
games.
I think there's some bad ones though too.
Hockley was bad.
Cam, what's the advantage of going all booth review?
I think it's faster. It keeps the pace of game up. It doesn't do the going into the fucking tunnel and giving your teams a long time, and it's instant. Everybody can see it on TV.
So
They
you-
know what it is.
All right, let me get this straight. Are you saying no coaches challenge
No
every
coach.
play?
No coaches challenge.
I don't
Um,
like that.
No coaches challenge. It's just it's the exact correct game every time. Because the booth's not gonna lie. The booth can see it.
All right, before we go too deep, do you guys like, because we haven't seen a live NFL game with PIs being reviewed?
I like it.
I don't.
Really?
I don't.
What about the playoffs?
I don't.
You don't like that call not being called?
That was a terrible call, and I think the Saints got shafted fucking big time.
Horribly. The
It-
worst ever, maybe.
The worst ever, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But so many PIs are so ticky-tacky. If you're going to start calling
Yeah.
guys for a little grab and a little hand, dude, that's just playing ball, bro.
No, I don't think I go like that deep onto it. I go onto plays like that.
I'm just saying we don't know what it's going to
Yeah,
be.
yeah, you're
I think,
right.
I think, yeah.
It's an open-ended.
Yeah.
By the letter of the law.
Miller Lite, please.
I'll take.
Can I do it by light?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So to answer your question, Tybo, I think it's too early to tell. I got to see it, but I am a fan of expanded replay in the playoffs.
I agree.
I'm a fan of that.
I agree. I get really nervous because
I like the idea of getting penalized.
I get really nervous, dude,
Is that a
because
bedroom thing for you?
yeah, that's that too.
I honestly get really nervous because being a DB nowadays is hard enough as it is, and now
those
when
guys have the
Yeah, you
toughest
get a little
job
grab
on the
or
field.
something.
and now,
Yeah.
dude, if you're just your arms there and they try to bring their hand up, like, and you're gonna get called for that shit. Lord forbid that happens in the NFC
Yeah.
Championship, and that gets called.
Any defensive player has
And-
a tough job. In
And then
today's
guess
NFL.
what? Next year we're gonna be bitching about that.
Yeah.
But to your point, I don't think any job's harder than a DB.
No.
I think that's the toughest position, other than quarterback, obviously. But
Cam, I got
Go ahead.
one of yours a bone to pick.
Okay.
One of them I'm just kind of curious, and I think it'd be a good conversation, maybe a good one to end with. But the one that I have a bone to pick with is your number one, making the experience more affordable.
Uh-huh.
And then the one that I kind of want to dive into a little bit more is your national anthem, because
Yeah.
you just have national anthem.
Well,
Yeah, I have it going both.
so-
I have it going one way or the other.
I'm sorry to be that guy. Can we talk about why you guys love weed so much before we get into this?
Stay off.
Well, let's
birds, one
let's,
stone?
Let's
I'm good with
just
that.
say that Ribo's never smoked pot before.
Yeah, I've never
and he
smoked
still
weed.
knows that it's the right thing to do.
Well, no.
So he's sensible.
It's not even that. I'm not going to sit here and say, well, it helps your cognitive function and it decreases anxiety and you can sleep better and all these things.
Thanks, Joe
All
Rogan.
I'm saying, yeah, right. Hemp has been around for thousands of
Thank
years.
you.
My point is that if a human, I'm gonna assume that weed is legal in the states that they're smoking it. Okay,
I don't care if it is.
Okay, but I'm gonna assume that because for the NFL to save face, they have to at least.
Yep.
That would be the farthest that they can go. Okay, so let's assume that they're in California. You're playing for the Chargers. Okay, or you're on the road playing the Chargers. Whatever. You smoke some weed. I'm okay with that because if a grown man wants to make a decision to partake in something that is legal, knowing the pros and the cons, and for each, I think weed affects people differently,
yeah.
right? So
For sure.
if it helps Josh Gordon get up on time, show up to the bus, catch 10 balls for 120 yards and a couple TDs, and then he goes home, outstanding. If Josh Gordon decides to smoke weed, he's late for the bus, ends up getting to the game, drops 3 balls, and henceforth is not targeted, doesn't get paid. That's Josh Gordon's decision. No, I don't
And you're
think the
getting
league.
cut.
I don't think the league should make that decision because I don't consider marijuana a hard drug. I think most people would agree. They're gonna have arguments on different sides between alcohol and weed, but I don't think anyone with half a sense can make an argument that weed is worse or
Oxycodone.
that much worse than alcohol when
much less.
when these guys are getting prescribed all these oxys and painkillers and stuff, and they can become addicted to that. Fuck, that's way worse. They drive home from the stadium on that stuff. Come on, that's way worse. So
Oh, yeah.
my point is, if you want to decide to smoke weed and you drop 15 balls, well then that's fine. Go work at Costco.
Well, let's
Exactly.
But that's
let's
your
just say
decision.
from
Exactly.
2 guys that have done their fair smoking of weed.
Smoking?
the
Yeah, you guys are
smoking of the weed.
much more credible than I am. in
I'm going to
this.
tell you right now that you're probably not going to be better off smoking before the games anyways. Maybe you're going to be a little bit more daring going over the middle, but you're
I'm not. I'm gonna be a pussy. I'm
No,
like,
see,
Coach, you sure you wanted
yeah.
me to run the triple Y slant X? Like,
yeah, you know what I'm saying?
you
No,
see
like
who's up in the middle?
it's not performance enhancing enough to where it's so much better for them to be able to sleep, to be able to deal with their
Yeah, and I think
deal with their
I'm
that's
much
how
more-
most people
yeah.
probably use it.
I'm
But
much more
if
on
a guy
Ribo's
wants
side.
to,
Yeah.
if a guy wants to blaze up in the locker room
let them do it.
in LA,
Yeah.
by all means do it.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, dude. Let's be completely honest.
There's not very many
If-
Ron Artests out there.
If fucking Antonio Brown is smoking weed in the LA Rams locker room before a game,
His coach is going to light him up, first of all.
and so would his teammates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Regardless if he goes out and catches 12, because if he drops one, they would
Yeah.
give him shit.
That's going to be the crutch.
I'm with Ryan because if you're gonna pump these guys up with that crazy shit, whatever the fuck they give them,
Oh, yeah. When they go in at halftime and they can't walk and they come out and they're okay? Yeah.
that's my issue.
Sorry to
with it.
interrupt, but on
No,
the
by all
TV
means.
behind you, on ESPN, they were just showing a replay of Aaron Rodgers on the opening game last year where he hurt his knee, right? And then he comes back out and he beats the Bears. Okay?
On
And then at
fucked up knee.
the post-game interview, his eyes are glassy as fuck. And the interview is like, "Hey, so what changed in the or what was hurt?" And
I
he
couldn't
goes,
feel my body.
"It was my knee." And he like had this southern accent, like he was high as shit. High
Dude,
as shit. But owners, GMs, trainers, they don't give a crap. These guys are racehorses. They just pump them with what works. But this guy, he can't go home and smoke a blunt? Come on, that's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
No, I'm on board.
I agree.
That's
Sorry.
it's
I just
crazy.
I just figured you guys we all agree on that one, so I
Yeah.
figured we'd just talk about it real
I
quick.
just think the benefits way outweigh the cons of it.
But take away the benefits, or like take away people's notions or what they think is good or bad about it. Like if they want to make a decision to do it, it's not like we're talking about heroin here.
No.
And the stuff that's
if you
prescribed
wanna
from
do that,
team
you're fucked.
doctors is 10 times worse
Yeah.
than that.
Yeah, agreed.
I mean, it's just I don't know.
No, agreed.
It seems un-American, frankly.
Yeah. Well, I mean, until
Or
it's
very much
until
American,
it's
depending on how you look
until
at
it's
it.
It
feder-
actually seems very much
yeah,
American.
federally
Give you some
illegal.
pills.
It's crazy. I don't know.
All right, so the affordability thing, you
Yeah.
seem like you're really not against it, but you had
Mhm.
a bone to pick with it. So
Yeah, well, look, I like the heart of it, the working man, and this is why it's so crazy that you guys hate Kid Rock so much, because
Oh,
he
get
makes
the
all his
fuck
concerts
outta
very
here.
affordable.
he's
afford
fake
all
white
your-
trash.
Anyways, I digress. I like the idea of it. I like the idea of a working class family being able to go watch a football game for a reasonable amount, right? I get it, but every game sold out.
True.
People are still going, and so
You've been to a Chargers game in LA?
that's probably the only outlier.
You've been to a Jaguars game?
Not that great, but they're still making money. My point is that it goes back to my argument, and I hate to beat a dead horse, but the market decides. If a Packers ticket is $300 and the beers are $8 and they're packed, why would you lower it?
Yeah, but
Like, out of the
also you
goodness
g-
of your heart.
You
Come
get
on.
it. No, you get into
Wait, the
you
Packers
get into
sell
the
beers for $8 a game?
It's probably more.
I'm
It's
gonna
probably
move to
18.
Milwaukee.
Well, it
What?
stays cold the
Um,
whole time. I mean,
Yeah, that's the
okay,
greatest
so
part.
just the same thing. Okay, so they punish when they don't sell out. It's called they black out games, right?
I don't
So
think
Yeah.
they do that
they-
anymore.
well, it wasn't. No, they
Not
got
as
they
much.
lifted it
Yeah.
because they were going. Well, the Chargers especially in San Diego, they used to get blacked out every fucking game.
Yep.
Because they couldn't sell out, and then bars would have to go in and buy up tickets because if they didn't buy up the tickets, then they
They
couldn't
couldn't
play the
show the
game
game.
at their own facility.
yeah, I'm cool with all that.
I'm not fucking cool with that. Like
Why?
That's bad.
you're
for
punishing
business.
you're punishing poor people.
It's obviously not bad for business, otherwise they wouldn't have done it. Or
They
maybe
lifted it.
Maybe
It's
it was,
gone.
and that's why they
yeah,
fixed
they
it.
got rid of it.
Let me say
Yeah.
this: if you have a product that is selling out,
It's not selling out though because they're blacking out games because they're not selling enough tickets. That's the whole idea is we want people to go to the game, and if you don't go to the game, then we're going to punish you by not letting you watch the game. That was the idea behind a blackout.
So can I?
but
can
but that's not the owner. Sorry, that's not the owner's decision to punish the guys.
That's
They're
the
not-
NFL.
Right, and goes back to a supply and demand thing. I've always said, we keep drawing parallels, but I think it's a good one to baseball. Okay, baseball has an attendance issue. Okay, but they're making bank on TV deals, so they're not.
So is the NFL.
They're not hurting. But I have always said, if I was a owner of, say, the Angels, who have one of the better attendance rates year over year, but I'd make not every ticket, but a ticket $5. Make it $2. Get them in the stadium, get it filled, create an atmosphere, make money on parking, make money on booze.
All right,
do
this
all
is,
that.
This is gonna sound
But-
bad. I'm sorry for cutting you off. The Angels. Let's be honest. What's the difference between an Angels game and a Dodger game? Other
Other than clientele.
Ethnicity,
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot.
ethnicity
Uh,
aside,
Safety levels.
What the Angels? It's a better. I mean, it's a more accessible stadium. Going to Dodger Stadium is not easy.
and tickets are cheaper
Oh yeah,
at Dodger Stadium.
because they
they?
have to be.
I don't know that for a fact.
I bet they would be.
Are they?
Maybe not now because they're contenders, but on average, I would say that if
I
you
bet they're
ask,
not.
not now, no, not now, because they're contenders and the Angels are not. But my point is, if you make $2 tickets, you're probably attracting clientele that you may not want.
Yeah, I don't want to go that low.
That's what.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I don't want to go that low. I just want it to not be $1,000 trip to take your wife and kids or your boys or whatever you want to do to a game. You're spending, let's just say for an average seat, you're spending $200. So you're $600 into it. Your parking is probably another $60 or something crazy.
Yeah, probably 50. Yeah.
Yeah, 50, 60
yeah,
bucks.
Still.
And plus, you buy nachos, you buy hot dogs, you buy that. You're $1,000 into it.
I agree.
I just think that's
It's egregious.
It's crazy. And to Ryan's point, they are selling those tickets. But to me, that's not where they're not making their money on tickets.
They're not.
They're
but
not making they're making money on TV deals.
In the
They're
NF
making their money on endorsements. They're making I mean, there's so many other things that go into it. Just make it a $500 day.
You're not wrong, Cam. They're definitely making all their money off TV.
Absolutely.
However, you got to think about if we're using baseball versus, or even basketball.
Baseball versus any sport versus the NFL is hard because
They only
the
have
NFL there's
a-
limited games.
They have a finite number of
I
games.
have a product. I have 8 games at home, and I can charge what I want. I understand that. I get it.
That's
It
fine.
doesn't mean that I'm gonna not have a bone to pick with $1,000 to get there.
So
Especially not towns. California is such a bad representation of any fans.
They're terrible.
They're
fans.
terrible fans.
Terrible fans.
And a lot of those those tickets are getting bought up by people that aren't. Chargers are the worst fans you can find.
Ryan, I know you're a California fan and you're a good fan. A majority of California
dog
fans
shit.
They're awful.
are dog shit.
I
They're
agree.
horrible.
They're dog shit.
They're
I agree with that.
horrible.
They're
So,
dog
but
shit.
I don't necessarily agree that teams are making their money in the NFL just off of TV deals.
I think a lot of them are.
Okay, how many do you think Lambeau holds?
60,000.
Lambeau, you're picking the one outlier.
And
where
Lambeau is sold out for the last fucking
Okay,
25 years.
Lambeau's the outlier.
The
We gotta-
Brown,
we gotta
even the
be
Brown,
honest with
even the
that.
Browns when they were bad, they were.
We got to
selling
be
out.
honest with that.
okay, would like the Bears be a more fair?
No, that's also a.
The Bears would
Soldier-
be
I'm
more.
trying to find like middle of the road. You go to Kansas City, sold out. Pittsburgh, sold out. Like you go most places in the league. Dallas, sold out. Like,
No. I agree with you. I'm just saying Lambeau's a little different because they have like guys are
Cheeseheads and-
shareholders
yeah.
and
Okay,
tho-
but I would argue that Lambeau is I'm talking more from a capacity standpoint. I would say that Lambeau Field is pretty middle of the road with a lot of these new stadiums. I mean,
That's
AT&T Field's like over 100 when you get everyone in there.
does AT&T really sell out?
Oh yeah.
Well, the only reason I ask is even as an Ohio State fan, they say we sell out a lot of games that I personally went to, and I'm like, it's not sold out. Like,
That
Well,
also goes to the bars buying up
maybe
tickets.
there's
and
maybe-
whatever.
10,000
Well, not at
seats.
college, but
yeah.
All I'm saying, so Lambeau, from a stadium standpoint, I would say is middle of the road from a capacity.
Yeah.
what are they?
Can we agree on that?
75,000.
Not
80,
even- not-
81,
They're
81,
81?
Yeah.
81,
So that's one of the bigger ones. It's
81,
gotta be.
441. On average, probably about $300 a ticket, honestly.
Well, that's also the. Yeah. I
On
mean,
average,
yeah.
can we agree on
Yeah,
$300?
that's probably $300. Yeah.
Okay, that's 24.
If you're not sitting up in the fucking, you could probably spend $100 and sit
you can,
Yeah.
but if you're down low, it's probably
$300. Yeah.
a grand.
Yeah.
Okay,
Go way
so,
more than 300.
So on average, 300. Can we agree on that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So just in ticket sales, no parking, no beer, no brats, no nothing, right?
I
No,
don't get a brat.
no apparel, no nothing.
7 times 3. Yeah.
24.4 million. Okay, let's times that by 8 a season. $195.4 million.
That doesn't pay the salaries for the team.
I get it, but that's a money maker. That is a money maker.
I bet you that's pocket change for him.
Like I said,
I would love to know what the shared revenue for the TV deals are.
oh, it's
'cause
more. It's
it
more than the
blows
tickets.
that out of the
I
water.
bet it's. Yeah,
I know,
bet
but
it's-
to say it's not a money maker is
It makes
wrong.
money. It
I bet
keeps
it
the
pays.
lights
I bet it pays for itself.
No, no,
I bet it does.
no, no.
Staff, everything included.
No, especially when you start figuring in food and drink, apparel, parking. No way.
But then you got to take in parking money.
That's what I'm saying. They make way more. I
I'm
bet
not
they
saying they're not making money from it.
I bet they make 50% at least.
Nah, I wouldn't say it's that.
Yeah, they do.
But
There's no
they're
way.
they're paying off
Cameron,
those loans
Cameron,
to build the fucking.
They're not losing money.
No, they're not losing money.
Just
no,
from
they're
an
not.
operations
Just from an
standpoint.
operational
take the
standpoint.
Take the salary and
No,
all.
they're not.
external
They're not
costs.
losing money by any means.
They're not losing money.
But that doesn't mean that they can't make it somewhat affordable for a family. Like, okay, especially in Wisconsin.
Okay, let me ask you this.
So that guy, that family is putting up. Well, say they're making. Let's just take a median salary. What's a 20 grand a year?
Dude, they're shareholders.
it's
they get
more
some of
than
that money back.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So
It's more
20.
than
So it's not more than that.
a median household income in Wisconsin is more than 20 grand. Cameron.
Yes.
They're not Neanderthals there.
The houses are fucking like 80 grand.
Yeah, they're not making 20 grand a household.
Not median, dude. No.
Okay,
way.
so say 30. They're not
Dude,
making 40.
No, it's
You
not that
fucking look
low.
it up. Look it up.
Hold on. Let me.
Okay, so let's just let.
All right, hold on.
I'm just saying they are shelling out
So-
2 weeks worth of pay to go to a game.
to
That's
Ribos.
that's $9 an hour for the household.
Ribos, line of the night, supply and demand.
Federal minimum wage is
Absolutely.
$7.75.
Absolutely. I know,
Supply and
but we're talking
demand.
about household income. You cut that in half.
You think they're married out
That's
there?
$4.50
You can't
an
marry your
hour.
sister in a lot of states.
Well, it's still
Not
income
Alabama.
under your house.
I'm just saying it's overpriced.
It is overpriced.
It's overpriced.
It is. But so
I-
is everything. Go to
don't.
Disneyland.
I don't. Yeah, exactly. That's
absurd, too.
exactly what I was gonna say. Okay.
And I wouldn't. I don't. I think that's.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Well, they're still full, and I still have to wait 45 minutes for the damn teacups.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But you get a California
All right.
discount.
Teacups are dope. Though.
You get a California discount.
I actually hate Disneyland. My fiance loves it. I fucking hate it.
I
And
won't
have
go.
I have the lowest membership because financially it makes sense if I go more than once a year, and she drags me more than once a year. But I see families of 6 there, and I'm like,
Did you see that black guy
how
light up his
do
whole family?
you pay for that?
Did you
crazy.
There's people that travel across the country to go there.
Across the world, bro.
Dude, did you see that black
The
guy? Did you see that
world.
black guy light up his whole family at Disneyland?
Holy
Yeah.
shit, that was a great
'Cause
He
video.
was
ran
pissed.
through
I
everybody.
shouldn't say that was a great video after saying Kareem Hunt.
He was
didn't
pissed
kick
how
her that
much
hard.
had
Oh,
to
he
pay.
fucked up everyone. He started off on his brother or something like that, and then he went to some other chick, and then he found out that his girlfriend hit his mom, and then he fucked her up too. God, dude, could you imagine being there? I'll pay to go to Disneyland if shit like that happens.
I'd be pissed if I had to pay $2,500 for the day for my family to be there too. And if you don't follow my every order, I might, I would never do that. But I mean
I might smack you up.
that's fatiguing, man. I'm not saying
No,
you,
I'm not going. That was
you
on
don't-
my list of
you
things.
don't hit a
when
child
I-
or a woman.
When I
but-
had a kid, that was on my list of things. I'm not going to fucking
Yeah.
Disneyland.
I did read the weather
I'll
report.
pay for it. I'll do
First thing
whatever.
after I saw that fight, I'm like, how hot was it? He might have been upset.
all I'm saying is if
That wasn't the first time he did that.
if I had
No,
a,
he was seasoned at doing that.
if I had a male cousin that I paid for, he might have got something that day. You know, like, oh, you're not gonna go fetch me a churro?
Yeah.
Oh well, you're gonna fetch this this fist.
Bro, I
Catch
paid
that fade.
$5 for a pickle.
I love pickles.
Me
I
too.
do
Alright.
too.
So it just goes yes. I feel like I'm
understand.
beating dead horses tonight, but it
The
goes
supply
back.
and demand.
Hold on,
I get it.
hold on.
They have a responsibility to get the most for their product
Absolutely.
because they do employ a lot of people. They provide a lot of joy for people, and so they have a responsibility, in my mind, to turn a profit. And a
Can they
massive
make
one.
it more affordable?
Oh, anyone can make anything more affordable. I can charge $5 for a hamburger, and I could
Nah, lose money.
still provide jobs. I could still provide jobs, but that wouldn't put a roof over my head.
Yeah. Okay.
And- And like you said, me and other people have, my dad mainly, put our necks on the line and put
Absolutely.
everything we had on the line. You know that.
Absolutely. I understand it.
And so
I'm just
I don't
saying-
feel bad about that at all.
So I agree
No,
with
I
you,
don't- I
Ryan.
don't
I
think-
view it as a responsibility.
I'm just saying this.
There's a middle
total
part.
devil's advocate because everything you said I agree with. Just because you can make it more affordable doesn't mean you should. Those billionaires that we're talking about,
They're billionaires for a reason.
they're billionaires.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not here to just
I get it.
Yeah.
appease the masses.
I get it. I totally get it.
Now, do I wish I didn't have to pay $16 for a Bud Light? Goddamn right.
You also
Yeah.
didn't have to go to the game.
You're
And
right.
that leads to my question I want to ask you guys. Is the NFL viewing experience better at home or at the game?
Home.
I'm all for going out. I'm all for watching things at home.
Well, let me say this. I've never been to an NFL game. I've been to many college games, but
Okay.
I much prefer watching football at home.
I think college is a better viewing experience.
How
than
much
the
are college
NFL.
tickets? I don't even have any clue.
At San Diego State, you can get in for free.
As a student?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It depends on the game.
No, I'm not sure. I don't. Is it comparable for like
Well,
a
well, give me-
Alabama?
Give me Ohio State game. Like
Ohio
State.
versus Michigan.
Ohio, Michigan.
Don't ever call them Ohio ever again, dude.
Ohio State,
do that.
Michigan.
Ohio State. I said.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
He
Fuck
went Ohio
them.
State. Ohio.
I don't care. Fuck
That's
them.
what- that's what-
Ohio versus Michigan.
That's what that team up north calls us.
Yeah.
I fucking hate you for it.
Okay, so no, that game.
Um,
300
that
$300
is
bucks.
That's a pretty
It's a
pick.
three-
probably
it's a 300.
350.
Yeah.
354.
Yeah.
On average.
354.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
So the college experience, the college experience is better. You get the band. Most people are there are kind of in that. NFL, I've been to probably 5 NFL games, 4 of them Jaguar games. It doesn't matter. Like no one cares.
In
Yeah.
Jacksonville?
One in Cleveland, Jacksonville.
That was probably fun. I envision Cleveland being a pretty fun environment.
It was fun, but no one really cared.
No,
I
they
mean,
have more
they
of their.
cared.
How long
I
ago was
shouldn't
that?
It was my senior
Oh,
of
yeah.
college.
Why would they care back then?
The Jaguars are awful too.
Did they
But-
have Brad Whedon then?
No, who'd they have? God,
That was a
For
terrible
who?
matchup
For the
back
Jags
then.
or for?
no, the Browns.
Jeff Garcia came back? Was that right?
No,
it
that's-
might have been. No, it wasn't.
No.
But
It doesn't matter. They were dog shit teams.
both teams were awful.
They were
but,
just there to drink.
but it was so wholesome.
Brady
'cause we-
Quinn.
It was so wholesome because we're like, hey, dude, we
Might have
suck.
been Brady Quinn.
Yeah, we suck too, dude. I hope you win. Yeah, I hope you win too, man. Like
Yeah.
it was the greatest thing ever.
Yeah.
But my point was, all shit aside, the experience watching an NFL game
Is not the same.
is so much better at home, unless you go to like the Steelers or the Patriots for like a, let's just call it Patriots, Steelers, and Foxborough. You get a different experience,
Yeah.
but on a week to week, if you're telling me you're going to go to New England, Miami in New England, you can watch
Yeah.
that at home.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. I don't want to go to any sporting event. I just think like this is a terrible climate we live in. I think fucking mass shooting. I think too many people. I don't want to be around it. But I'd way rather go to a college game.
It's
Yeah,
more
if,
fun.
If I was going, I think there's just more electricity. I think there's more.
There is.
It's,
Absolutely.
I mean, even if you go to a USC game, you know, when they're playing fucking Fresno State.
Dude, I
Again-
love that fucking. Dun,
Yeah,
dun,
it's just-
dun,
it's-
dun, dun,
If I
dun,
had to go to one game, I'm
dun.
not. USC isn't front.
No,
of
I'm
mind.
just saying that game seems more electric to me than going watching the Chargers play the Colts on
Yeah,
Sunday.
I agree.
Yes.
I agree.
I don't want to
1000%.
fucking watch the Chargers play the Colts.
All right, let's talk national anthem.
Yeah.
I want to give you your pulpit
Um,
to start.
I think it's definitely died down since the Colin Kaepernick shit because they don't show it on TV anymore. They don't. I don't know if you noticed that, but they used to always show before every single game. They'd show the national
Yeah.
anthem. They don't show it anymore because we got fucking guys that want to do what they want to do. But I think you fixed that. Well, I think TV has fixed that, but the going to the game experience, the polarizing effect of what's going on, is not worth it. So you either, as an NFL, Roger Goodell, fucking whoever you want to hire, you say
Trump.
Trump,
Just kidding.
whatever
Just
it is.
kidding.
Yeah,
Just
well,
kidding. Can you
well,
imagine that? Fuck.
Well, you wouldn't be kneeling. I know that.
I wouldn't.
You either get rid of it, or you make everybody stand. You get rid of the problem. You fix the problem by just going, no problem, we're done with it, or we're gonna keep everybody doing, or we're gonna have everybody do it.
What would you do?
Personally,
Yeah,
I would keep the national anthem and make everybody stand.
and televise it.
I don't care about the televising.
Then it makes no difference.
Well,
No,
if
it does because there's still people at the game and you're still going to polarize. There's a lot of I mean, you go to a Cleveland game and shit like that. Those people are, I mean, you go to Jacksonville is a great fucking
military town.
military town and
Yeah.
stuff like that. And, I mean, I understand
The part that fucks
if you're
me up,
gonna respect the military by doing it and doing the national anthem, then have a rule in state and a rule in play that says this, or just get rid of it. I mean, it's not really that big of a fucking deal anymore, right?
I already know I'm gonna be like the fan least favorite for saying this, and that's whatever.
Or put it in guys' contracts.
Whatever. Yeah, put
Yeah.
it in the contract. If they don't want to sign, they don't want to sign. But what I don't like is how Kaepernick especially started the movement. It had nothing to do with the military.
No, please, but I understand what he was doing.
Absolutely nothing to do with the military. Nothing. It had
But
to
you
do with
had-
police brutality.
But you had to know the repercussions. You're smart enough
Sure.
to know that.
I am smart enough
Yeah,
to know
not
that.
you, him. Yeah.
Regardless, if you think that kneeling for the national anthem, which I would never do, because I do respect what our guys do,
Yeah.
but at the same time, and maybe I'm speaking out of both sides of my mouth, but the fact that if you kneel, it makes you unless American for the point he stood for, and I don't agree with the way that he did it.
Bad approach.
The
We've
way
been through it. Yeah.
wearing the pig socks.
Yeah.
We've done this.
Bad approach.
It is not an anti-American thing. It's not. Now,
It's-
people construe it that way because that's what the media does for a litany of other things in America.
Yeah.
And they make it, this guy doesn't like America. This guy doesn't do this because he hates America. He doesn't respect the military. I don't know Kaepernick. Never talked to him. Don't know the guy.
No, I've heard he's talked to military guys, and they said do this and do this.
And I've seen a lot of guys on Twitter that respect Kaepernick and go, "Hey man, I served,
So he can do that."
So he can do that.
I totally agree with that.
So
The idea, great. The approach, horrible. Execution, horrible, terrible. But you can fix that just by going, we're not going to do it, or in your contract, hey man, this is not something we're going to do. And if you want to do that, that's fine. We're going to fine you X amount of dollars, whatever it is. You're still an employee.
I know.
You're still an employee. It's like if
the tough part
if TaylorMade said, "Hey man, Tybo, you're not allowed to wear blue. You can't wear blue. It's just one of our rules." I know you.
Can I only wear Buckeye colors?
No, you know what I'm saying though. Like it's just it's just one of our rules that comes along with being on our team.
It's not my fault Adidas only made blue shirts.
I like the color blue. It looks good on you.
It's my favorite
But
color.
I'm just saying, like that's just, if they went to you and they said, "Hey man, we're going to pay you X amount of dollars, but we got this one thing. We got this one thing, and if you don't want to sign, that's fine. You don't have to work for us. But this is how we're going to go about it. Or you get rid of it entirely. And we don't have to worry about blue shirts, red shirts, fucking green shirts. You can wear whatever fucking you want. You just can't wear no shirt."
I have a question for both of you, and I want Tybo to answer first.
I'm ready.
What does the national anthem represent to you? Because we don't just do it to listen to someone sing. It's a representation of something. So to you, what does the national anthem represent?
Freedom.
And who fights for that freedom?
The military. The military fights for, as far as I'm concerned, all of the rights, including the First Amendment of free speech.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mine's the same answer, freedom. And I think about it the same way. Like I said, Kaepernick's message at the core was good. But I honestly, in my core, know that he knew what he was doing. He knew
You
that
don't know that for sure, though.
He's not stupid.
he's not a stupid guy.
I don't think he, but
By
do you
saying
think
that
he was
he
doing it
doesn't-
to disrespect the military?
That's
I
almost
think that, I
condescending.
don't think he was doing it to disrespect the military.
Okay.
But I think
That's
there's a
my
lot
point.
of things that I can run into your car. Hey man, I didn't mean to do that, but it's still I ran into your car.
So he's dumb then, is what you're saying.
No, I don't think he's dumb. I think he knew. I think he calculated exactly what he was going to do, and he knew, and he was ready for the.
So
I
then
don't
he
think-
knew that he was disrespecting the military.
I know
Because
he
you
did.
both said that
No, he
basically the
did.
anthem to you means
No,
the military.
I do think
No,
he.
that's not what I said. That's not what I said. I said it's the right for freedom,
Freedom.
which the people in the military thank you for everything
Fight
y'all
for.
do. But you fight for the freedom of speech, freedom of all of that.
So let me ask you
So
this.
why are some speech?
I have.
Why
Can
is some?
can I jump in before I lose
Why
it?
is some speech protected more than others?
Can I jump in before I lose it? You're right. They do that for that. But the other side has the exact same right to be as angry as him being angry at what he did, and for them to be
Totally agree.
for them to be put on blast for me, it's like not me especially because I've never fucking owned an NFL team or whatever it is. I have
One day.
this goes to
Dude, he lost his job because of it.
I'm happy. I'm
He
happy
lost
he
his
did.
job.
I'm happy
Why?
Because he went about it.
because he went about it the wrong way. There were so many other platforms. But let me.
What other
let me-
platform
let
does
me-
he have
let me-
that's more in everybody's
He's an
face?
NFL quarterback who was at his prime was just as good as anybody. Not good talent wise, but he had just as much a following. He could have chosen to, hey man, I'm gonna go on fucking Twitter and I got 9 million followers and I'm going to the police station. Come down here and meet me here.
9 million followers is jack shit to an NFL game.
It's still a big enough platform where you
Not
can get
big,
your voice.
Not big
it
enough.
is.
Not as
It is.
big. It's not as big.
Let
You
me
can't.
let
you
me get
can't
back to what
disagree
I
with
was
that.
saying though. He has every right to do that.
He does.
If I'm the owner, it's a different story.
He has
but
every right
I'm
to
not,
not sign him.
I'm not the owner. You're right. He has every team in the league has every right to not sign him, and they didn't. Good for them. More kudos to them. But for anybody to say you can't be mad at him for doing that, that's bullshit.
In the same
and
way,
that,
I could say
and that's the same thing with like anything, like the any movement where they go, hey, I have all more power to you for doing whatever you want to do, right? If you want to fucking say you're a 9-year-old girl when you're a 40-year-old guy, more power to you. But I have every right to react to that.
it's totally
the same-
different.
It's the same. It's the same. It's action reaction is what I'm saying. So
I thi-
anybody to say you're not allowed to be mad at him for doing that because his message was good, I have every right to be mad at him because his message was not approached the right way.
So, and I understand. I mean,
Both sides have their rights to. He has the right to do it, and I have the right to react, and just the same as everybody else had the right to react.
for sure.
And the
Why-
owner
why
and the
does
market chose for him not to play.
For me, the one side to say they don't react or they have the big reaction is purely military based. Like he's saying, fuck everybody that's in the military. That's not what he was saying.
But that's my right to go to approach
To
it that way.
misconstrue.
That's not
what-
misconstrued.
He told you what his platform, why he did it.
But that doesn't mean that his platform. That doesn't mean that his approach wasn't good.
That's
I have a right to react to the way he approached it.
fair.
The same way he
Yes.
has the right to do it.
You're right.
So
You're
for
right.
anybody to say you're not allowed to react this way, is the same way that I would be saying you don't have the right to do this.
So I can
both sides.
so I can misconstrue anything anybody
Absolutely.
does and just say,
Yeah, you
you're
can.
wrong. And if I have
Yeah.
a big enough backing behind me, I could just pin you into a hole.
This is a great example here. Anybody who votes for Trump is a racist.
And that's ridiculous.
It's a ridiculous statement, right?
It's ridiculous.
That's what was pushed the same way that was pushed, that if you didn't agree with what he did or you were against him, you didn't believe in free speech.
I
I
think-
believe in free speech. Absolutely. It was 100%. I am happy that he's not working. I'm happy that his platform and everything
problem
he
is-
chose.
The problem is, with your example, and I'm not saying this, I don't think Trump should not have a job. He was elected. The problem is, Trump can't be kicked out of office.
Well, I mean,
So-
no. I mean, more or less.
So-
Yeah.
There's some red tape. Yeah.
yeah.
So let's
okay,
let's try to find a better example.
Clinton did just for getting a blue. No, I was just saying that's the. No, that it has nothing to do with Trump. It just has everything to do with people that voted for him. Where they go, hey man,
But
if you
those people don't have jobs for having different ideas.
no, you're right. I see what you're saying. But the market chose to not have him in there.
Because there's only so many people in Kaepernick's market as compared to the I voted for Trump, which was a large majority of America.
No,
So there's a
I was
big
just saying
there's a
action
big-
reaction.
There's a big difference.
So
In my opinion.
I have 1 point, a question, and then I want to make a couple points.
Okay.
Point question. The question is coming to me.
It is coming to you, and I know I sound like I'm combative, and that's why I want to make some points after my question. First thing is, look, we all have the right to think on our own between what is right and what is wrong in this country, and that is by far the most beautiful thing about America.
Absolutely.
So we can talk about how he did it or all that stuff, and that's part of the point I want to make later. But I just want to remind everyone listening and us that, like, we all would go about it a different way, but we all have the right to that. And then to Cam's point, we all have the right to react to that, as long as it's not violent or demeaning. It's all good. And that's one issue that I had with Cap, but we'll get to that. My question to you, Tybo, is your original point was you said that you wouldn't kneel because you respect the military.
Yep.
But then you also said anyone who thinks that Cap kneeling is disrespectful to the military is basically wrong. Can you explain that?
I didn't say they were wrong, so
I-
appreciate you
in
putting
so
words in
many-
my mouth. But
Well, in s-
I'll answer your question.
In so many words.
I'll answer your question. I didn't say that, but would I choose to do that? No. Do I appreciate? Because I've never had that platform. First off, I'm not black. I've never dealt with police brutality. I've never been pulled over for a myriad of reasons. I've never had to live that life. I don't know what that's like. I don't know that. But I've seen enough videos, and I've had this discussion with your father a million times. Do I think all cops are bad?
No.
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 I think
Majority
all
is
black
not.
people.
Majority is not.
I think 90% of them are probably good, probably a higher number. But let's not. There's people that do the job I do now, and they suck at it. The problem is, I don't hold a gun. There's a lot of cops
the power factor.
that do their job pretty fucking bad, and when I see videos of shit like that happening, and I watch a lot of them. Shout out Public Freakout on Reddit.
But that's also
And let me make my point.
media.
I see a lot of videos like that. No, it's not fucking media. I go out and I see those videos. I don't go on CNN. I don't watch Fox News. I don't go on media like that. I see videos
Reddit.
and I go on. Sure,
I like
that
Reddit.
That is a source of media.
No, seriously.
And
like
I
it.
watch follow-up stories on it. And guess what? The guy goes, "Oh, he was discharged, or 2 weeks, no charges filed." The Arizona couple that fucking held the gun up to the woman with a kid in her hand. That's just one of many I can give. That guy, 2 weeks paid leave, back on the force. Zero accountability, and that's what pisses me off. And I'm not black. I don't deal with that shit. And that pisses me off from a personal standpoint, that people that are not the race that I am have to deal with shit like that in America in 2019. And that pisses me the fuck off. So if some man wants to use his platform that most African Americans do not have the platform for, if that's the way you want to use it, I don't agree with it, but I understand the message. And I'm not going to misconstrue it and try to say, when he very audibly said, this is not about the military, this is about police brutality in America. And this was, granted, Black Lives Matter when it was the whole 9 yards. When that happens, I'm not going to hold him to a cross. Do I think that guy should not have a job? He should.
Well, you think he's a top 15 quarterback?
I do. I do.
I want to
However,
touch on that one more time.
Yeah. I wanna
quarterback
finish.
rating never over like 80.
That's fine.
You
got-
agreed with him.
Yeah, you got your shots from Eric
I
after
did.
the fact. Apropos. Anyways, my point is when a guy goes and does that, and it took a lot of courage. It takes courage to do something like that. And you can nod your head. The guy doesn't have a job right now. That guy could easily be in the NFL and probably be a starter for the last 3 years. Period.
He could have had a job after that though.
That's
His
my
girlfriend
point.
would have shut the fuck up.
Okay, that's not his fault.
A lot of us have that same issue.
Miko Grimes is one of the craziest bitches in the NFL, and fucking Brent Grimes was in the league for a long time, so I don't want to hear it. Anyways, I respect the guy for standing what he believed in, and I will always stand for people for what they believe in. And the fact that the media misconstrued it and said it's against the military, when he very audibly said, that's not what it's about. If that's how you guys want to spin it, go ahead. You can blackball me, and they have every right to. If my employer says you can't say this, and I go, but I believe in that, they have every right to say, well, you don't work here anymore.
Yeah.
They have every right to say that.
And he has every right to say, I don't work here anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he cost himself a job. He cost himself a job. Colin Kaepernick alone is the only reason why he's not in the NFL. Now, I'm sorry. I just feel like if you're man enough to stand up for what you believe in, I respect that. I respect that.
That's kind of what I said though. I think the message was good, but he had to know. He's not a dumb guy.
The message wasn't good. The intent was good.
Yeah. Okay. No. The
There's a big difference.
performance was bad.
Yeah.
Execution.
The execution was
Right.
bad. I have just one thing to say about your watching things on Reddit. I bet the percentage of fucking that you watch on Reddit, and I've seen them too, and it's disgusting. But I bet that's 1% of interactions with police and law enforcement, and that's not a great judge of how many times people get pulled over daily. How many
Okay.
people like
Okay.
the percentage is low.
I want to speak to that because I don't want this to get misconstrued.
Yeah. And I'm from Elsinore. I'm not a huge fan of cops. Like, I mean, all of our interactions with the cops were not bad though because we were white.
Yeah.
I was
we
going to
had-
say you are white.
We
You're
had
white.
we had a little bit of weed,
that's a
and
fact.
And
You're
a little
right.
bit of weed in fucking Louisiana is probably a lot worse. And I understand that. I understand all of
I'm-
that, but I think to paint
I-
them with a broad brush is bad.
That's exactly what I'm not doing.
Yeah.
I
I would say it's a 1%.
That's
of-
exactly what I'm. I think it's higher than 1%, but I think most cops go to their job and they fucking go to work every day not knowing if they're going to come home.
Absolutely.
I respect that.
Yeah.
I fucking respect the shit out of that.
I wasn't attacking you. I was just saying.
I know you're not,
Let's
but
just not.
I want to
Yeah.
I want to make myself clear
Yeah.
that I think a lot of good cops get a bad name because of bad cops.
Oh yeah. And they're constantly
The
on
bad cops need to be held accountable,
Absolutely.
which does not feel like it happens as often as it should.
Yeah. No,
It
there's
doesn't.
definitely everybody sees the cases, where it happens.
It
and-
doesn't. The guy that
No,
fucking
I'm not
asks
saying.
a dude to
I'm not
crawl
saying.
on the
I'm,
ground
no, I'm
and
not,
shoots him in
well,
the back.
that was crazy, obviously. But I'm saying
That's not the
they
only
d-
one, man.
No, I know there's not.
And I
There's-
know it's not the only one, and there's a lot of good cops that do their job
Yeah.
every day. They put themselves in harm's way, and they protect myself, yourself, and
Yeah.
yourself.
But there's also a
and
lot of stories that
blacks,
are- yeah.
Mexicans, Asians, everybody.
Yeah. Oh,
Everybody.
absolutely. The one in the hotel was crazy. There's a lot of shitty things that happen to cops, that happens that goes under the rug. Absolutely. But there's also a lot of those cases where you see, like, this is a shitty, absolutely shitty situation. The little kid that got shot with a gun. He didn't have a gun. He had a little fake gun. You have a fake gun. That's bad parenting.
What about the guy that murdered
No, absolutely.
5 people?
There's
runs at a guy, chokes a dude out. There's 100 cops there. They don't take him down.
no. There's because they're scared of the repercussions.
Oh, they're
Because-
scared of the little kid with a cap gun?
But they don't know it's a
But they don't
cap
know it's
gun.
a cap gun. I mean,
Like that's
no,
kind
there's-
those two
there's-
those two are bad
no.
examples to compare.
No, and okay.
As far
what's
as
his
in
name? What's his
apples
name?
to
Who got
apples.
choked out? Eric, the guy who got choked.
What about the white guy that got choked out? They choke him out, and the guy's like, I think he's dead, and they start laughing.
No, there's obviously there's.
Yeah,
I'm not
there's
making
bad,
it a black and white thing.
I know. There's
those
ba-
guys.
I'm not saying that.
Those
no,
guys didn't miss a day.
No,
Not a
it's-
fucking day.
It's bad. There's bad apples. 100%.
Those guys, and that's my issue. It's not
Bad
with
apples.
cops. It's with
Bad people.
bad people.
Oh, there's bad. Absolutely.
So, let me jump in.
Yeah.
So as far as that part goes, look, there's teachers that abuse,
Tenure.
kids that have mental disabilities. There's teachers that abuse kids just flat out. There's cops that are murderers.
Yeah.
There's
There's firefighters that get drunk on the
There's-
fucking
It's
golf
not the
course
same.
and.
It's not the same. Getting drunk on a golf course is not the same.
Well,
as
no,
killing
I'm
a
just
person.
saying. No, I.
but
understand,
there's also
Let's
there's
keep it
there's
apples
bad
to
rep.
apples.
there's also people that get pulled over for rolling a stop sign, and they have a Glock right here, and they just start shooting at cops. So
I agree.
we have a human issue. We don't have a cop issue. We don't have a teacher issue. We don't have a black issue. We have a human issue, right? And so
kind of. I agree with you to a sense.
Well, the
There's
difference.
there's a
teachers
power.
don't.
There's a power.
Teachers don't have guns.
The
There's
difference.
a power
Firefighters don't have
hierarchy of.
There's a difference with cops because it's more times than not life or death. So
I agree.
the stakes are higher. So that
I
is what
agree.
it is. But
I agree.
to the core, it's a human issue. It's not,
No, the guy who shot the guys in the hotel had fucking "You're dead" or something on his AR-15.
Yeah.
When you, I mean, that was.
I mean,
that was the worst one.
the guy in the car that has the Glock has a gun too. Like, it
Like-
at the core, it's
I did say, I understand cops go every day out of their house understanding that they could lose their life.
oh
I
yeah.
respect the shit out of that.
No, I get it. And
the
I also
bad ones
Should be
all
punished.
I'm saying
should be punished.
That's
Yeah.
my point.
and by
Just
the
like anything, if you're guilty of being an asshole, you should be guilty of being an asshole.
and
Yeah.
by the way, the black guy that
Taking
deals
lives is worse.
the black guy that deals coke in South Central, there's a certain part of me that respects him because he's just trying to survive,
Well, that's just hustling.
right? And so I'm not oblivious to that.
Rap,
And
trap, or rap.
when we talk about cap, because I want to make my thoughts clear on this. I know it sounded like I was being combative, but more so I wanted to give you your platform, Tybo. I think that, and a lot of people in my circle aren't happy that I believe this, but I think that the reason why Kaepernick was able to do what he did was exactly because of the military, because of that freedom. And I do applaud him from the sense of the courage that it took to do it.
Oh,
Do I
absolutely.
think that's the reason he doesn't have a job? I think that plays a big part of it. I do not think he's a top 15 quarterback, but that's a whole nother
He's
argument.
not top 5.
Top, yeah. But
Just above Drew
but
Brees.
what pisses me, what pisses me off, and this is probably more to your argument. Well, it depends on what side you're on, but it's kind of like with religion, where people say that one or judge one sin heavier than another. Like jealousy is not as bad as being gay. Well, if you
sin is a
if you believe in
A
religion,
sin is a sin in the Christianity.
right? Okay, and a freedom is a freedom. So freedom of speech is just as important as our general freedom, and who fights for that. Now, so I want to make that clear. I think that the most beautiful thing about America is Kaepernick being able to do what he did. What I wish he would have done. One, I wish he didn't make it about the anthem, because I think most people agree that represents the military, and we all agree how important they are and how high we hold them.
Undoubtedly.
But if he is going to make it about the anthem, I wish that he just like stayed in the tunnel or stayed in the locker room, and then he has the platform. Like, he was a dude, right? He still is a dude, right? He could, coordinate a press conference and say, I wasn't out there because this incident, and name an incident, and name a kid that died, or this involvement. And I don't agree with it. I don't want to make this about the military. I respect those guys. I'm not going to take a knee for something that I think most people agree represents the military to a certain degree. But this has got to stop. And I just feel like there's other ways to do it without bringing that in. But that doesn't mean I don't respect his courage.
But he
And
did take the biggest platform.
he took a leap.
Maybe he didn't have, like I said, he could call a press conference, and maybe that's not as big, and it's not probably, we've talked about NFL viewage, but there's just so many better ways to go about it. And I would like to talk to him and go, hey man, do you wish
How
you
would
would
you
have
do
done
it different?
How would you do
Yeah.
it differently?
No,
That'd
I
be
want to know,
interesting.
how would you do it differently? What
I
is
don't,
a bigger
I don't,
platform
I don't mind.
than that?
No, not bigger platform. I think that's not a bad play. That takes away any disrespect. That takes away. To me,
Do you think?
the kneeling thing.
I agree. Can I say this real
Mhm.
quick? I agree. Staying in the tunnel
Is a good move.
is the best move,
Yeah.
Mhm.
but it's not the move that gets you the most quote unquote views. And to get
That's
your
what I said. That's what I said. He took the biggest platform. He took the biggest risk.
He did.
He did,
and he paid for it.
and he paid for it. And I'm glad that the market and the people and the owners and everybody chose that you chose the wrong thing.
I think at the end of the day, he did something that was more divisive than brought people together, and that's my thing.
And it's-
And
I understand why.
and
it was
yes,
divisive.
he got clicks, and he was on TV, and we're still talking about it. Look at us,
Yeah.
right? And so maybe that's any press is good press kind of thing, but I think he could have done a lot more things as far as he has the funds, he has the resources. Stay in the tunnel. Say, I'm not going to come out for the anthem. I'm not going to disrespect these guys, but I'm not going to support it either. Okay. And then also, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a town hall with some cops, and we're going to talk through some issues. And then I'm going to work with some kids, and I'm going to donate
He
to.
does. He does.
And he does, but be more public about. I mean, can you imagine Kaepernick and like a police chief from Atlanta or something, a white one with a mustache,
Thank
having
you.
a town hall? I mean
get what
that's
you're saying.
that's the shit that's actually effective and bringing people together. Imagine a little black kid watching that.
Do we know he hasn't done that?
We didn't choose that to start.
If he
Didn't choose it to start.
if he has, he's done a terrible
I
job
totally
marketing
get it, Tybo. He chose the biggest platform he knew. But
What's
I don't
bigger
think
than
he's
that?
I don't think he's a dumb guy.
He's not.
I think he knew exactly what response he was going to get.
His platform was big, but he was going for a reaction. And my point is,
He
don't,
was.
Don't play into that. Get a reaction, like you have to. I
He
get that.
was.
I get that part of
Yeah,
it.
for
His
sure.
platform is as big as his platform is, no matter what he does, right?
Oh, yeah.
It is what it is. But he could have done things. Yes, he wouldn't have gotten the amount of reaction that he got, but be bring people together. Don't be divisive. That's my only thing. And be respectful to all parties involved, understanding the pressures of cops, the pressures of military, the pressures of a young black kid that I won't be able to understand, and bring that side to
And
it.
I don't
Like,
think he understands it. either.
Ryan, I totally
No.
agree. Ryan, I totally agree. The problem is no matter what you do nowadays,
it's
You're
scrutinized.
gonna get construed.
and
you're
that's,
gonna get, you're
and
gonna
that's why
get.
that's why I made the original point that I made is like nothing is ever 100% right. It will never be. Like you and I will never
No.
100% agree, and we shouldn't. And that's the most beautiful thing about this
If
country.
he stood in the tunnel,
No one
he
talks
would
about it
No. They
No,
would have talked
people-
about it. They
people-
would have talked about it, but
for a week.
and he would have got just as much hate.
No.
Maybe
not as much.
No.
No.
Not as
Okay.
much.
No,
He would have got.
not even close.
Okay, so he gets 50.
it's not on Fox News.
Guys
I
like
think it's a big
if he
platform.
stays in the tunnel and does it that route, guys like you and I aren't as upset because we lean.
No,
a
I'm not
little-
upset. I'm not as upset.
Do you guys remember the
We
left?
lean a little bit more
Do
right.
you remember the left guard for the Steelers that
Yeah.
Yeah, that
stayed on
walked.
the platform?
Valenzuela. Or
Talking about the guy that was
what's
a Navy
his,
SEAL.
what's his full name?
The guy that was a Navy SEAL.
What's his full name?
Well, I mean, he's not a quarterback.
Alex Villanueva.
Are you sure?
No.
Okay.
Am
That's
I
my
right?
point.
Am I
Well,
right?
but
I
also
don't
that
think it's
that,
Alex.
that guy was after the fact.
His
He
last
was-
name was Villanueva.
He was after the fact,
and he was
and
an
he was
African
also
American,
he was also a lineman.
a former military man
Yeah,
who said, "You know what? To Ryan's point,
they all didn't come out.
I do
He's-
not feel good about kneeling because that's disrespectful." And I love that, and I appreciate that.
Yeah,
Kaepernick does not everyone, to Ryan's point, has the, was it Alex?
It's Alejandro, which is Alex. In,
No,
yeah.
see, now you're trying to perpetuate your white privilege.
it is.
Oh, that's
I'm-
cultural
I'm pretty sure.
appropriation.
That,
I'm just kidding, But
That's
no,
close.
I know what you're saying though. That guy's platform is not as big as Kaepernick's at the time.
I agree.
It's not close either.
Yeah, it wasn't. It
It's
wasn't
not
about
close.
the act. It was more about like.
But he stood with them in a sense. Bad pun, but he stood with them in the sense that goes, I agree with what he's saying, but at the same time, I served and I know what this
Yeah.
means.
What if he goes
And
and
that's what I
talks?
I
wish
know
he
what
did in
this
the
What if he
meetings.
talks to the NFLPA and they do like a, they just do a coordinated thing because there's nobody that's in the NFL that's going to go against that.
Because if you do a coordinated, in my opinion, I don't know, if you do a coordinated NFLPA thing, you're not on Fox News. You're not on CNN.
I think they do.
You're not
if
on
it's big,
ESPN.
It's
No, you're not.
53
You're
man
not.
roster times 32 teams.
Jay-Z's got a lot of publicity from what he just did.
Yeah, but that's Jay-Z. He's just trying to be an owner. Like, what's he doing?
I'm just saying, like, I mean, he's doing something that's bringing people together,
I'll-
whether you agree with it or not.
Agent.
I'll end
Agent.
my cap thing at this because we've been through it.
Not a top 15.
I understand it. I do. I totally understand it. But I'm not going to say I'm smarter than Cap, but I'm smart enough to know what that was going to cause in a ripple effect.
For my last point will be, for every cause that you think is worth fighting for, there needs to be a martyr.
Yeah, and I'm fine with that.
And I think he's the martyr.
Yeah.
I think
Did
he
it
was.
help? Did it help?
I think it brings attention to it,
Did
or
it?
else we wouldn't be talking about it 4 or 5 years later. I really do. People wouldn't be saying "fuck Nike" if it wasn't for Cap. And Nike stock is as high as ever.
Yeah.
People can say, "Oh, I don't want to buy Nike."
Yeah.
They don't need your
I'm
money.
one of those people.
I know you are.
Yeah.
They don't need your money.
Supply and demand, man.
No, and
Supply
I'm
and
fine
demand.
with I'm fine with Nike being a successful company.
But
I just as
I
a
want that to
person-
be that. I want that to be my point. For every great cause, there needs to be a martyr.
I like it. Can I
Yeah.
make a closing point?
I'm good. I'm good with that.
I think.
And I'm happy he doesn't have a job.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I think.
And I bet he got paid more for that Nike fucking thing than he ever did. For
So he's not losing.
I think what
Doesn't have to get hit.
no, he's not losing it anyway.
I think what he did illustrates the most beautiful thing about this country, his ultimate freedom. In other countries, you'd be killed for what he did. Then, like, that's today.
1,000, yeah.
Today, that will happen. Okay.
Yes.
I applaud his courage. I don't think any sensible human can
No,
turn
you
that down.
can't.
I wish that he went about it a different way. And
I do too.
In my opinion, in the long run, he didn't really do anything to make real change other than the publicity. I'll give you that.
But it made it about himself.
And-
Not him, but they made it about himself.
And number 4, there's no shot in hell he's a top 15 quarterback.
All right, one last thing. I want it to be known, and you guys know me. I know your brother. I respect what your brother does. He is a fucking way more courageous man than I could ever be.
His
And
brother
so-
works in Long Beach.
He's a pussy in real life.
And I know a lot of cops that put their lives on the line. So I don't want to make this sound like, I don't respect
I
what
never got
cops-
that. I
I
never,
never
get
got
that,
that
out of you.
feeling from you.
Okay, I just want to make it obvious.
No.
No,
Because I understand. But in the military, I mean, I've got family in the military or have served. I know your grandfather had served. I don't.
I got
You do.
British Army. He was red coat.
RAF.
That doesn't count,
Royal
dude.
Air
Fuck
Force, bro.
those
Fighting the
motherfuckers.
Nazis.
But
Can you imagine yelling the British are coming and fuckers like you come strolling down the
dude,
street?
if I saw a guy with a mustache like that, I'm out. I'm out. But
He
I
eats
d-
both ends.
Because I know how things can get misconstrued.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't want it to come across like that. I guess my thesis would be I respect what Kaepernick did. It took courage, and at the same time, it's not like every cop is bad.
No,
Nor every.
I don't think anybody who went against Cap even thought that anyways.
I-
And I don't think anybody that's on. Well, I mean,
Eek.
I also don't live in
Eek.
fucking, Alabama, where
I'm sure
getting.
there's some
I'm
guys
getting,
that you and I talk to that would think differently.
to think every cop is bad.
No, that what Kaepernick did was, like, fuck cops and fuck military. I think a lot of people think
yeah.
like
well,
that.
that's also. I mean, yeah. I mean, you
But-
can. Yeah.
To also
yeah,
be.
but
To
if,
also
if you're
be,
not open to, you don't even. I mean, you deserve a voice because you're an idiot, but because you just want to be outed. I want that. I want those people outed more than anything.
Just be like, yeah.
To also be clear, Tybo did not say that kneeling was. It was. I used the word wrong. All you said was that what Cap did was not anti-military. For the record,
And he said that.
I was just paraphrasing.
He
Thank
said
you.
that.
I got
I'm not
upset
sa-
when you said that.
No,
I was like,
I'm
dude,
not.
that's
I'm
not
not
what I'm saying.
No, I'm
That's
not
not what
saying.
I'm saying.
He definitely said that. I mean, his message was set, but it doesn't mean that people aren't going to react to it.
For
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
Which
And they
is-
have every right to.
Which is part of the point.
Yeah.
I get that.
All right, boys. Wrap it
All right,
up.
guys.
Get to fucking
All right.
All right.